Welcome to one of the most important online trainings I've ever given. I don't normally say that, but this is, if you are a man, about your entire life, living a life of maximum masculine freedom and accomplishing long-term consistent happiness throughout your entire life, not just being free in one area like I'm single, so I'm free. No, talk about being free financially, logistically, in your dating and relationships, in your marriage or whatever you have, with your friends, physically, internationally if you want, your entire life. I am an expert on this. I've been talking about this in great detail with thousands of men all over the world for about, 12, 13 years now. I'm going to get into your entire life right now. If you do what we talk about in this training, will change your life. And I mean that. I know that because many of you have told me this. So this is live right now. So I'm going to hang out for a few minutes as people file in and wait for everyone to get live here. I got to check the technology, make sure everything's working. Okay, good. Okay, good. That's good. All right. If you guys could do me a favor and put the number 2 in the chat, which would indicate you both see me and hear me, that would be great. Especially those of you so we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, and we're on both of my YouTube channels. So if you could, especially those on Facebook and LinkedIn, if there are any on LinkedIn, I may not be on LinkedIn for this one. It's not a very big link. I see a few 2s. Okay, cool. Most of you guys are on YouTube. Can I see on here who's on YouTube and who is not? I guess I can. I don't want to fuck it up. One of you on LinkedIn. You can see me. Great. Awesome. How about anyone on Facebook? Or is anyone on Facebook? Let's see. Are we live? Yeah, we are. Yeah. Forgot to announce this webinar to our Facebook groups. Oops. That's my fault. That's my bad. Oopsie. Oh, well, that's fine. So we'll just hang out for a few minutes here. I'll answer a few questions before we get started as everyone files in. Between the Australia and the USA, which is the least bad have an A2 business out of? Boy, that's a hard one. Australia is pretty awful. Maybe the USA. You're not talking about living there. You're just talking about having a business there. Maybe the USA. I think there's a few more things in the USA you can do to save taxes, kind of, if you're willing to get creative and stay legal. So maybe the USA, maybe. That's a tough one. That's pretty bad. Cool. Okay. What's the best country for curvy white women? What's a PAWG? PA white girl? What is PAWG? I don't know. I'm not young and cool with the cool kids. So I don't know what these terms mean, you guys. I'm busy working in companies all day. I'm not cool. Curvy white women? Russia. I wouldn't recommend it. I've talked about this. I've written entire articles about how you don't want to date Russian women. But that's the answer. Russia / Eastern Europe. That's it. Oh, it means fat ass white girl. Oh, okay. Yeah, all of you are now correcting me. Great. I didn't know that. That's my favorite too. I like white girls with big asses. I'm in Paraguay right now. Guess what? Guess what you have down here? Everywhere. White girls with big asses. Now, they are not gorgeous like they are in Russia, and they are they have small boobs. So you can't love. If you need big boobs, you don't want to go to Paraguay. Paraguay, I gotta say it right. Paraguay, but anyway. So, but you like white girls with big asses, and you're not too picky about they have to be gorgeous or whatever, and you're not too picky about breast size. Right here, Asuncion in Paraguay. My God, it's a paradise. Sometimes last time I was in Paraguay. Was it last time? I flew back from Paraguay to the U.S. And at Paraguay, every woman has a big ass. I mean, they're all of them. They all do. Little tiny girls, old ladies, they all have big asses. And then you go back to the United States, and you're like, "Aw." You're all sad. You're like, "Oh man, all the butts went away." So, love your thumbnails. Do you do your own thumbnails and video editing? What do you think the answer to that question is? Do you think I edit my own thumbnails? Do you think I do that? Do you think I edit my own videos? What do you think? I'm not going to answer that question because you know the answer. What do you think? What do I teach in terms of time management? What do you think? What do you think? Some of you are still on the fat ass white girl thing. How we doing on? Okay, I'll wait one more minute, and we'll do this. Yeah, I've talked about this. What you like as a man, what you like physically in women, is wired into you around age 14-ish, 13-ish, somewhere in there, right when you're kind of done with the initial phase of puberty. Whatever you're seeing gets locked in. And I've written articles about this years ago, where when I was 13, 14 years old, back in the mid 1980s, that's how old I am. I still remember this moment, sitting in the back of a room, back of my keyboarding class. I was just starting my sophomore year of high school, and this short, cute blonde girl walked in, looking kind of nervous. That's so hot. She's all nervous, and she's very girly. I'm like, oh. And then she looks around, finds a seat, and she has this big, giant ass. She's this tiny little blonde girl, blonde hair, big, giant ass. Well, guess what? Boom, that is now hard-coded right back here in my subconscious as to what I like. So I like short, petite, tiny little women with blonde hair. Blonde is possible. Platinum is better, with big asses. And ideally big boobs too. And so whenever I see one of those, I'm like, ugh, because it's just hard-coded. So some of you guys, talk to some of you guys who you grew up in New York or something, and you grew up like in the Latina part of town, right? And so when you were 12, 13, 14, all these Latina girls, so now you love Latina girls. So it's whatever you like is hard-coded in around that age. It's kind of funny to go back in your history and look and see, why do I like this? And if you go back, I promise you, if you're a guy, women are different, but if you're a guy, you go back, you look around age 12, 13, 14, something happened, or there was an environment where it got plugged in, and now you can't take it out. I'm 51. I can't remove that. Now, here's the thing. I don't only date short, white, blonde girls with big asses. I've been with Asians. I've been with, you name it, I've been with it. Okay. So, and my wife is a gorgeous, I'm about to show you pictures of my wife in a few minutes, is a gorgeous Barbie blonde, but she doesn't have a big ass. She has a small ass. She's a little perky, athletic ass, but she has big boobs. Okay. Fine. I'll take it. That's fine. All right. Someone's saying the angle of the ass is key, so you could put a drink on it. Like Kim Kardashian? Yeah. All right, let's do one or two more questions. We'll get started. My late 40s, recently divorced with a great high sex drive GF who wants to buy a house. No. Hardest part is imagining a true Alpha 2.0. Yes, influenced by SB religion. How duplicatable is the A2 lifestyle in my late 40s? We have men in their 70s living the Alpha Male 2.0 lifestyle. So you are just fine. I didn't get started to Alpha Male 2.0 until I was 35. That's only 5 years away from 40. And my 40s were a fucking paradise. My 40s were my best decade of my entire life by far. And that's saying something, because my 20s were pretty damn good. Some of my 30s were good. Some of my 30s were horrible. But my 40s was awesome. All you young guys say, oh, I don't want to be old to be in my 40s. It'll suck. Not if you do what we're going to talk about today. You will love your 40s. My 40s, so my big goal now, I'm 51, is to get to the point where my 50s are better than my 40s. And that's going to be really hard, because my 40s were the shit. And so my 50s have to be better than my 40s. 60s, I don't know. But financially, my 60s will be fine. But everything else, I don't know. But 50s is going to be better than my 40s. That's my big objective right now. So, cool. All right. Let's get started, shall we? If you didn't know, my name is Caleb Jones, and I am a business consultant. I have several companies. I'm an entrepreneur. I live internationally. I live in Dubai. I'm here in my second home in Paraguay, Asuncion, Paraguay. And I'll be here for a few more weeks. Matter of fact, we're having a Get Residency in Paraguay service that starts tomorrow. Clients start flying in tomorrow, actually. Billy starts flying in tomorrow as well. And today we're going to talk about how to live a life of maximum long-term freedom, exactly how to do that and why that is important. This online training is for men. If you are a woman, you are certainly invited. I love women, and I think women should be involved in anything they want to be involved in. If you're a girl or a female or a woman, whatever term you like to use for yourself, wonderful, welcome. But this material is mostly, for the most part, not for you. There are some aspects that will apply to you. Alpha 2.0 business structures, finance, those definitely apply to women. Alpha 2.0 relationships, no. So just be aware of this. This is for dudes, but you are certainly welcome. I actually wrote that in the very first thing, my Unchained Man, my primary book, which we'll talk about a little bit later. I write in the disclaimers, this is a book written for women. This is a book written for men. If you're a woman, you're certainly invited. Absolutely. but just realize this is for dudes. All right. Let me share my screen here. Hang on a moment. Probably should have set this up before I started this live stream, huh? Hang on a second. Here we go. Here we go. So if I point this way, I need to let, okay, hang on. Share screen. Hang on a second. I want entire screen and I want this. Share. There we go. Ooh, cool. I was always are back and forth deciding should I do this or this. I'll do this. Okay. You drink a lot of water because that's just how I roll. Part of anti-aging and a lot of energy. All right, you guys can all see that, right? Cool. Okay. Alpha Male 2.0, what is it? I'm going to go into detail about this. By the way, I'm going to talk about things this online training I've not talked about before. A lot of these things I have talked about, some of these things I haven't. For those of you who are really seeped in my content, I try to throw new things in for you guys. I'm sure there's a bunch of you who are watching this who are familiar with some of these concepts. Some of you are relatively new. Some of you are very new. So I'm covering all three categories. Cool? Cool. All right. Why is this not clicking? So Alpha Male 2.0, excuse me, is literally, and this is a literal statement. What you're reading here is not hyperbole. It is not hype. It is not marketing. This is all marketing. I'm a capitalist. I'm here to make money. But this statement is not false. This is literal. Alpha Male 2.0 is the single greatest lifestyle available to the modern day man. I'm not talking about 1952. Modern day man without having to be like a billionaire or something or worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Because I'll get a smart ass that says, well, if I was worth 500 million, wouldn't that be better? Yes. Are you worth 500 million? Will you ever be worth 500 million? Shut the fuck up. So this is it. Without having to be rich, I am not Grant Cardone. I am not, Dan Locke, Gary Vee. I'm not one of these guys that you need to make $10 million. You're a loser. I have opinions about these things, but that's not my content. I'll talk really specifically about how much money you should make, but it's not that much money. And everything we're going to talk about here applies to the modern day man, and everything I'm going to talk about is achievable by the modern day man. I don't say you need to make $1 million a year, you're a loser. Okay. Some people, correctly so, will say that's not all people can do that. That is correct. Everyone can do this. When I point this way, point this way. Everyone can do this. You may not want to do this. That's different. But you can if you live in the Western world. Now, if you live in the middle of Bangladesh and you live on $1 a day, maybe not. But if you live in the Western world, this is all achievable. Okay, this is the greatest life. You're about to see in a minute why it is. And I've been living this lifestyle since 2007. Okay, so I'm 16 years into this? Hardcore. This is good stuff. You'll see in a second. All right. There are two pillars of maximum freedom in terms of you as a man, and you need both, not one or the other. There are several of you, many of you watching this, either live or on the recording, where you'll have maybe one of these, but not the other. And you'll know that not having the other is going to cause you some angst and some problems. There is, unfortunately, a few of you who don't have either of these things. That means you need to get the fucking work. Okay. Number one is location independent self-employed income, at least $85,000 a year. That is USD pre-tax net. Okay. That is location independent, which means you're not locked into wherever you live to earn that income. And self-employed, which means it's through your own business that you own and control 100%. It is not through a remote job. I know a lot of guys who have remote jobs. They're not free. It's not as bad. I understand. Yes, it is one level less horrible, but it still sucks. One of my brothers has this, and he'll be on like a call with me or something, and he'll be like, it'll be the middle of the day when he's supposed to be working, like, oh shit, my boss, I got to go click, and he'll just have to run and pretend he was in a meeting, and it sucks. He's the opposite of free. So that's number one. And it's $85,000 a year. Why? They've done numerous happiness studies that show that if you make less than $85,000 a year, you will be happier if you make $85,000 a year at least. If you don't want to make any more than that, that is fine. If you want to make a lot more, I just did a webinar 2 days ago on how to do that. 500K Business Accelerator, we can show you how to do that. If you want to make, the big money, 500K, $1 million a year, you can do that too. But you don't need to. You need to make at least $85,000 a year. How hard is it to make $85,000 a year? That is perfectly achievable by any man watching this presentation. I'm not saying make $1 million a year. Not all people can do that, but you can make that. All right, that's number one. Number two, multiple relationships with attractive women, at least two. So I'm going to go into more detail about that. The bottom line is, if you are either never having sex because you're an angry incel, or you're a loser, or you think you're, more accurately, you think you're a loser, or you are monogamous, you have a wife or girlfriend, you're only allowed to have sex with her. In both cases, you are not free. You should be allowed to have sex, mutually consenting, of course. We're talking about mutually consenting adults. You should be allowed to have sex whenever the fuck you want without having to get permission from anyone. Otherwise, you are not free. Well, I want to get married. I'm married and I have sex with women all the time, and my wife knows it. I will discuss that in detail in a minute with pictures. Okay? So now, when I say multiple relationships, guys may say, I don't want to date 47 women. I don't have time for that. Multiple means more than one, which means two. If you have two women, one main girl, and one woman you see on the side every few weeks, that's it. That's fine. You qualify. Okay? Is that achievable? Yes. No one is saying you have to be like Andrew Tate and have 14 women on rotation. And I've lived that lifestyle. Not today. Well, I have a lot of women in my life, but they're not every week. But I've been in scenarios where I was dating 4 or 5, I would see literally 4 or 5 women in a week. Not good for your business life, so I didn't do that very long. But no one's saying this. 2, that's it. So not 0 and not 1. 2. Now, if you want 3, 4, 5, great. 2 is all you need. We'll talk about how to do that. I do not teach theory. Everything I teach in all of my content is things that I have done myself, that I have replicated many times across many countries, many people, and many companies, both in my relationship stuff and my business stuff. And thousands of people all over the world have also replicated this in the Alpha 2.0 community over the past 14 years. There are many of you who have already done all this stuff. Some of you are very successful Alpha Male 2.0s, both in your woman life and in your relationship life. So these are things that actually work. And the goal is not to get to the point, the goal is not to maintain a point where you are worried about money or sex. Because what are the things that most men worry about? Money or sex or both, right? Right. 100% to 80% of everything you worry about probably can be summed up as something having to do with money or something having to do with women or dating or sex or your wife, your girlfriend, something, right? Right. I don't have to worry about either of these things. It's kind of nice. And I haven't for years. All right. I will do a full Q&A at the end of this, and I will stick for as long as I can. I set aside a good amount of time for this. You want to focus on this. If you are kind of focused on something else, you are less likely to take action on the models that I'm going to show you how to make work in your life. And so the less likely you are to actually do these things. So you want to pay attention to this. If you're here, really be here. By the way, I follow this myself. When I go on, I do online, I follow other people's online trainings. I focus and I take notes. I mean, I'm there 100%. So you want to focus on this, or else again, the odds are if you're not focused on this, you'll say, at the end, you'll say, well, that was cool. And then you won't do anything. And that's not the point here. My mission is to help you as a man become more free and become more happy. That's not going to happen if you're just kind of, it's finished thing. Great. All right. Those of you who are new or relatively new, why should you listen to me? Who the hell am I? My name is Caleb Jones. I make 7 figures a year, 100% location independent, and I could do that on literally 15 hours a week or less. I've said this before. I could work all day on Monday. It'd be a long day, it'd be a 12-hour day. I could work half a day on Tuesday, and I would literally maintain that 7-figure income. Now, to be clear, a lot of people would be very angry with me. I'd have a lot of drama in my life. A lot of people would be very upset with me. That's true, but my income would sustain. And if there was any drop, it'd be a few percentage points. That's it. So I don't have to work long hours. I do work long hours because I have big goals. I have a strong mission. I love to work. I'm a high energy guy. You can probably tell. But I don't have to. We'll talk about that. I have over 1.2 million annual readers if you add up all the different modalities that people are involved in over the past several years, blogs, everything. I had a popular blog for years. I stopped blogging because the world moved to video. But anyway, did that. I've been a business consultant for 26 years. I've worked literally with hundreds of companies all over the world. That's been my primary source of income for most of my adult life. That has changed in the last few years. A lot of online income and other income from other business sources. I have several companies. I have started 5 companies. I think that's right. The number might be 6. Might be 6. I don't remember. 5 companies, all of which have made money. I have never started a company in my entire life that did not make money, ever. Every company I have ever started in my life has made some money. Some have made a lot, some have made a little, but they've all made money. I've written 8 books that have sold hundreds of thousands of copies. 2 books in particular, my understanding is if they were traditionally published, would be considered New York Times bestsellers. I have dated scores of women. You know what scores means? Let's say dozens of women. That's true. In multi-year, low-cost, non-monogamous relationships where I was dating a woman and I was dating other women and all the women knew what I was doing and continued to date me anyway for years at a time with very low or zero levels of drama and complaining. I'm literally one of the world's experts on long-term, happy, non-monogamous relationships. I've been living this lifestyle since 2007. I've not been monogamous since 2007. And when I say not been monogamous, that means I've had no dry spells. So if you come out of the pickup artist world or the red pill world, these guys complain about dry spells where they go like 6 months and don't have sex with anybody. I've never had that in my entire life since my conversion to Alpha Male 2.0 in 2007. How many years ago was that? 2007, 16 years. Yeah. Never had that. Almost 17 years now. I've never had a dry spell. And I've never been monogamous once. Not once, not one time have I only been having sex with one woman. Now, sometimes it's gone down to 2 or 3. That's true. And it goes, the number fluctuates. But and right now I am married. I'll talk about that in a little bit. If those of you who care, some of you guys don't care about this, that's fine. Those of you who care, 60% of the women I have been with, a large list, were anywhere between 15 and 25 years younger than me. Now, if the first thing you're going to say is, well, that's sugar daddy game, you're paying them, that is only a percentage in the last few years. As I said, I've been doing this about 17 years. I've been doing some form or fashion of sugar daddy game for about 4 or 5 years. Prior to that, I didn't pay any of these women 1 penny. And there were many, 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 many of them. I write entire books on how older men can date younger women without paying them. If you want to do sugar daddy game, if you are a wealthier guy or a more busy guy, that's an option too. But I've done a combination of both those things. Now, here's how this works. This is you now. Let's talk about you. By the way, if you have questions as we go along, go ahead and put them in the chat, and I will rewind the chat and answer them at the end for the Q&A. Okay? I don't really pay attention to the chat. I get kind of focused here. So as a man, you are happy to the degree to which, now let me say this. I'm going to say what makes you happy, and you're going to say, and some of you are going to say, not every man would do it. Okay. Whenever you're talking about human beings, there are always weird, unusual exceptions to every rule. There are some men in the world who are happier if they are less free. If they have a very repressive job with an overbearing boss and they go home to a domineering wife who's like their mother and tells them what to do, they kind of prefer that because they're extreme beta males. That is some men, but that is a small percentage. That's an exception. There are many men who live that lifestyle and hate it. So they live it that way, but it doesn't make them happy. So the vast majority of men, most likely you, are happy to the degree to which you can do whatever you want. Whenever you want, not just at certain times of the day. You can take a 1-week vacation once a year. Fuck that. Whenever you want, with whomever you want. And I got to throw in there always, as long as that person is mutually consenting adult, okay? That person obviously wants to be with you, wants to spend time with you. But you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whomever you want, without having to check in with someone. I'm doing this, honey. Is that okay? Or get anyone's permission. Hey, boss, can I take Friday off, boss? Hey, honey, I want to go buy a new truck. Is that okay? That's not freedom. Okay? Whatever you want, whenever you want, with whomever you want, having to check with anyone, within reasonable financial and logistical constraints. So what I mean by that is, again, you always get 1 or 2 people say, well, you can't pick up a car and throw it down the street, so that means you're not happy, right? Okay, dumbass. That's a reasonable logistical constraint. Well, you can't buy an island whenever you want. Right. Do you want to buy an island every day? No. So shut up. So, of course, there are reasonable financial and logistical constraints. You get my point. Stop being a nitpicker. So do whatever you want. If you have a 9-to-5 corporate job, can you do whatever you want? No. If you are married and monogamous to a traditional wife or living with a traditional girlfriend where you have promised her monogamy, can you do whatever you want? Yes, I can. I'm an alpha male. You know, I read Rollo's book and I watch Andrew Tate videos. I can do whatever the fuck I want. So you can go next door and bang the cute, 22-year-old girl and your wife's totally cool with that. Because guess what? I can. Let's take the sex stuff out of it. You can go spend $40,000 on a new truck and just bring it home to your wife. Say, hey, look what I bought. Isn't that great? And she'll say, oh, okay, that's fine. No, you cannot do whatever you want. Can you do whatever you want, whenever you want? No. You have to adhere to other people's schedules. Your boss, your roommate, your girlfriend, your wife, in some cases, your children. Right? Right. How about with whomever you want? No. Now, some of you are alpha male 2.0s and you can. I can do all these things. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, with whomever I like. I never have to check with anyone to get anyone's permission. Even though I'm married, I still can. Financially, logistically, I'm in Paraguay here for a month. I told my wife, I'm going to go to Paraguay for a month. She said, okay. And say, can I go to, most of you who are in traditional monogamous relationships, you want to go to some other state. Can I go to Boston for 3 days? Why do you got to go to Boston? Right? Right. All right. So you're happy to the degree you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. So that's the objective, is to design a lifestyle where you can do this. Cool? I got to figure out which way to point. I got to point that way. All right, cool. Here's how this works. If you picture a bar chart and you have freedom that goes up and down. So your freedom has a high degree of freedom or a mid degree of freedom, a low degree of freedom, right? You also have another pie chart right next to that, which is happiness. And so happiness follows freedom. Okay? So if your happiness is high, your freedom will generally be high. Generally. Now, sometimes we can do a whole thing on this, and I won't. If I had more time, I'd explain this. Sometimes there is a delay in the change. So like you get divorced. All right. So when you get divorced from your traditional monogamous relationship, what happens to your happiness? Okay, this is your happiness. What happens to your happiness? Does it go up or down, or stays? It goes down. However, what happens to your freedom? It goes up. So what happens to most men, I've experienced this myself, hundreds of you have experienced this when you got divorced, is after a few months, all of a sudden your happiness goes boom. It just shoots back up to levels it never was when you were happy. And you're like, I can't believe how happy I am. I went through this exact same thing when I got divorced way back in 2007. I was driving around my car after 3 months of sadness. I was driving around my car and I was so happy, I started laughing out loud in the car by myself. I was so full of joy and happiness and excitement because now my freedom was I could do whatever I wanted. So that's this works. So the goal then is to design a lifestyle where you could jack up your freedom as high as you can, okay? Then you take a big hammer and a nail and you nail that freedom so it never drops below a certain level. These guys who are free and awesome and they date or they have MLTRs and then when they hit 35, they go, I want more. I want something more in life and I'll just get married. And then they get married, boom. Then they just destroy their freedom when they're 38 or whatever. Okay? For example, guys who have a business and say, this is too stressful. And they go back and get a 9-to-5 job, boom, their freedom drops. Right? So there are various scenarios where you could be very free and then it drops. We'll talk about that. So there are 3 types of men in the world. And you can see the picture on the right here, right or left, whatever that is to you. 3 types of men. All men in the world fall into one of these 3 categories, including you. You are one of these 3 types. There are 3 types of men. I'll go through each 3 types. The type 1, this guy right here, is called the beta male. This is the standard typical guy. My rough estimate is around 80% of modern day men in the Western world are beta males. This is the standard typical type of guy. This is the vast majority of men today. This is the typical, normal, average, nice guy. Now, nice does not mean friendly. A lot of beta males are assholes. They're angry. They're depressed, but they're nice guys. You see my point? Here are the 4 traits that define the beta male. He is needy. He's scared. What if I lose my job? What if my girlfriend breaks up with me? Well, what if I try this and it doesn't work? Caleb, what if I find a niche for my new business and I spend 4 months and it doesn't work? Oh no, they're needy. They're scared, which is an outgrowth of needy. They're moody. They get mad. They get pissed off. They get frustrated. They're haters on the internet. They bitch and moan and complain. They nitpick. They're assholes because they're moody. They have these big mood swings. They're pissed off all the time. That's a beta male. Very rare to have an alpha male who's moody. That's a beta trait. Next is they're outcome dependent. They want things to work. They're very, very worked up about what other people do, what other people say, who gets elected for president, what the movies are like, and they get very mad. That goes back to Moody if they don't get exactly what they want. People don't do exactly what they're told and all that crap. So they're outcome dependent. They're constantly worried about the entire world externally from them and whether or not certain things occur, which is why they're moody all the time and needy and scared. These things kind of all loop together. These 4 traits, needy, scared, moody, and outcome dependent, all kind of exacerbate each other. And you create this big, giant beta male black hole that gets worse and worse and worse. That's why betas get worse over time. I mean, beta males, their 20s are awful, but beta males, their 40s or 50s, they're really bad. Fucking shit. Next, you have the alpha male 1.0, which is almost the opposite of the beta male, not quite. And this guy is tough. This guy right here. He's tough. He's strong. If he's not physically strong, he's mentally strong. He's very confident. He tends to be masculine. Now, masculinity changes based on the culture. A masculine guy in the UK looks and acts slightly different than a masculine guy in the United States, right? So there are slight cultural differences what that word means, but whatever the culture is, they are masculine for the culture, generally speaking. They are confident. They have belief in themselves. They know they can handle things. They're not scared. Okay? They're not timid. They go forward life strongly. Cool. Hang on a second. I'll check something here. All right, we're good. They are successful. When I see successful, they're successful in at least one of the life areas, financially, with women, or fitness. So financially with women or fitness, sometimes more than one, sometimes all 3. Usually 1 or 2, they're successful. Beta males are usually not successful, although there are plenty of successful beta males. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, these are financially successful beta males. I'm not saying beta males are never successful, but the alpha male 1.0 is successful, generally speaking. There are rare exceptions of like loser alpha male 1.0s, but even those guys, they're ripped and they're, see my point? Just like the beta male, this is the one trait that the alpha male 1.0 and the beta male share. They are outcome dependent. They are very, very concerned about what other people do and what other people say and what people in life do, what the women in life do, what their coworkers do, what their family does, what their mom does. And they want these people to behave a certain way. And if they don't, they get fucking pissed. Andrew Tate. They get fucking furious. They're furious all the goddamn time because people aren't doing it. They're the news media, goddamn it. And they're pissed. They're pissed off when people don't do what they're told. So because of this, they have lots of frequent conflict, anger, and drama. Not all the time. It's not consistent. Many beta males live in a consistent state of drama and conflict. The alpha male 1.0, I'll talk about this and I'll show you a graph in a second. Sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're furious. Sometimes they're really happy, having a great time, living a great life, then they're fucking pissed. Then they're happy again, then they're like, God damn it. It's up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. Being an alpha male 1.0 is very tiring. It's a lot of work to be an alpha male 1.0. Oh, and I have friends, people I know, people I work with, who are alpha male 1.0s, and it's just, oh, God damn it. It's just not a very fun life. There are fun times. The beta male never has fun. The alpha male has fun times, but he also has angry times as well. All right, now, brings us to the alpha male 2.0, which is what I am and what I teach, and what many of you already are. Just like the alpha male 1.0, same exact traits in terms of tough, masculine, confident, successful. All the same exact stuff, okay? He's an alpha male. They're both alpha males. Alpha male 1.0, alpha, they're both alphas, right? So they have those traits. The difference is between the alpha male 2.0 and the 1.0 is that they are outcome independent. They don't care. They don't give a fuck what other people do or say. They could give a shit. They're too busy living their own lives, building companies, having sex with hot women, traveling the world, working on their mission, working on their passions. They don't care what other people do. Who gives a fuck? Why would I want to worry about this? It's great. And therefore, because they don't care, they are the most consistently happy, not just men, but human beings. Because are women capable of consistent happiness? No, they're not. They don't even want it. That's a topic for another time. You can read my books about that. But alpha male 2.0s are the most consistently happy people in the world, far more than other men. Betas are 1.0s, and more than women. They're the happiest people on earth because they're confident, strong alpha males who don't give a shit. I do not give a shit what my wife is doing right now in Dubai. Right now I'm in Paraguay, my wife is in Dubai. I don't care what she's doing. I do not care what she's doing. I don't give a shit. I have an entire team of people in all my companies. I don't really care what they're doing right now. I don't care. As long as they get their work done on time, that's all I give a shit about. I don't care. I'm too busy focused on my life and living a great life. Make sense? I don't care who gets to be president next year. Don't give a shit. Do not care. I don't live in the United States. I took care of that problem. That's your problem now. Or the UK or Australia or Canada, wherever you're watching this from. Don't care. It's great. The Alpha Male 2.0, unlike the Beta Male and unlike the Alpha Male 1.0, is 100% completely free. Now, the Beta Male is a slave. The Beta Male is 100% of a slave. The Alpha Male 1.0 is sometimes a slave and sometimes not. He's more free than the Beta. It is much better to be an Alpha 1.0 than a Beta. That's not questioned. But many times the Alpha Male 1.0 is limited by his own need for people to do what they're fucking told. Make sense? All right. So this is the happiness pattern of the Beta Male. It's all over the place, but it kind of, the average is down here, around a 4 or 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. They're not very happy. If they're happy, they have brief moments of happiness, right? When they buy that new video game, ooh, right? Or when, after they've gone through the breakup and divorce, they start dating a new girl who's really pretty. Ooh, I love her. And then they have drama and problems. So it's not a very happy life to be a Beta Male. Just not. That's not the priority. Now, the Alpha Male 1.0 looks a little different. On a scale of 1 to 10, he's happy a lot. Isn't that cool? That's great because he's an Alpha Male. He kicks ass. He gets shit done. He's successful. He makes things work. But all the time, on a regular basis, someone doesn't do, he's happy. Then his girlfriend, yells at him, doesn't show him respect. God damn it, you need to respect me. Then he's happy again. Then Trump loses the election. God damn it, fucking feminists. Okay, then he's happy again, right? Then one of his employees doesn't do exactly what he's told. God damn employee, listen, I told you up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. Like I said, it's a lot of work to be an Alpha Male 1.0. I would hate it. I don't like to work. I like to be happy. So here's what I do. Alpha Male 2.0. The Alpha Male 2.0 is happy all the goddamn time. This is literal. This is a literal graph. I am between 10 and 8 all the time, every day. People, when they first meet me and they get to know me, they're like, God damn, Caleb's happy all the time. What the fuck? Because it's so weird. Because everyone else is a Beta and there's a few 1.0s. By the way, what do you think women's happiness looks like? It's like all over the fucking place. I don't have a woman graph here, but it's similar to the Beta Male. Let's go back to the Beta. That's woman's happiness looks something like that, maybe a little higher on the chart. Now, does that mean, again, nitpickers, well, you can't be happy all the time. It's not possible. Yes. Eventually, your mom will die and you will feel sad. So someday, my parents will die. My mom or dad will die, and my happiness will drop down to a 2 for a little bit, and it'll go right back up to 8 to 10. Here's the thing. How often do your mom and dad die? Never. So these are rare, isolated events. Cool. Okay. Here's how you create a structure for long-term consistent happiness. The two baselines of long-term consistent happiness for a man is, I just mentioned this earlier, sex and money. Not one, but both. Let's pretend you make a lot of money and you never have any sex. Are you happy? No, you're not. And I know men and have known men in that category. They make plenty of money. They never get laid because they're too scared to date girls, or they have a dominant, bitchy, stay-at-home wife or live-in monogamous girlfriend who never has sex with them. And right, these guys aren't happy. Now let's reverse it. Let's say you're getting laid left and right with super hot supermodels all day long, and you are poor. You have no money. You are in debt. You haven't made any money in 2 years. You live on people's couches. I've known people like that. I've known men like that in the pickup artist world. Are these guys happy? No. You need a baseline of both. So once you have a baseline of both, we'll talk about in a minute, then this creates freedom. You cannot have freedom without a decent amount of money and sex on a regular basis. Try to be free if you're never getting laid. Try to be free if you have no money. It doesn't work. Then once you have freedom, you have that happiness I talked about because your freedom is high, so now your happiness is high. This is how the chart works. It's a bottom-up system. You focus on money. You focus on sex. Now, maybe if you already maybe you already have something like that. I just talked to a guy yesterday who's joining our 500K program, 500K Business Accelerator, where we teach you how to make a lot of money. He joined that program. We went through his life, and he's like, on terms of woman stuff, I'm dialed. I'm good. And he told me his woman life, and he's fine. He's got women up the wazoo. He lives in South America, of course. Okay, so he's fine, but the money's a problem. So if your sex life is great, you work on the money. If your money is fine, and your sex life is horrible, you work on your sex life. If neither is fine, you pick one, you work on both, one at a time, and then you get to the results. Talk about that. Okay. Now, here's the response that some people will say about that. Money and sex, you are so shallow. Well, you're a fucking pig. Now, if you're a woman, you can say, you're a fucking pig. What an asshole. If you're a man, you can say, oh my God, you're so shallow. You know, what about your family? You know what? What about giving back to society? You know what? Hey, Caleb, what about fitness? What about fitness, Caleb? Getting ripped. You know, what about having children? You know, what about God and religion and spirituality and meditation and, you know, being in the now and walking in nature? And, you know, what about that stuff? You selfish prick. Money and sex. Let me explain how this works. This is the motorcycle. This is the metaphor I've given many times. Here's the example. You're driving down the road on your motorcycle, right? And your two tires on that motorcycle is sex and money. All right? Those are your two tires of the motorcycle. You have a problem with one of the tires. You go, oh shit. So you pull aside the road and you have a self-repair kit. You start repairing one of the tires, right? And as you're repairing one of the tires, old man with a little dog, okay, one of those little tiny foofy, gay little white dogs, right, comes along and he looks at you and goes, you are so shallow. You say, what? Yeah, you're spending all that time working on the tire of your motorcycle. Don't you realize that the engine is far more important than the fucking tire? You're spending all this time on the tire. You are so shallow. Oh, I can't believe you. So your answer is, you turn to him and say, you're right. The engine is more important than the tire. But without two working tires on this motorcycle, the motorcycle is useless. So the engine is everything you talk about: family, spirituality, health, fitness, friends, community, children, giving back, anything you can think of. But without money and sex, the two tires on your motorcycle, if you could get the most amazing Ducati in the world, and if there's no tires on that thing, it's just going to sit there. It's an expensive hunk of junk that just sits there. It doesn't go anywhere. You need money and sex so that you can enjoy all the other things: children, love, family, spirituality, religion, whatever it is for you. You can have all those things. But I just gave you the example. If you're not getting laid ever, you're not happy. Don't lie to me. You have a wonderful family and a deep spiritual life, and you're getting laid, and you haven't made any money in 2 years. You're deeply in debt. Are you happy? No. You need these as a foundation for the important things to work in your life. So for those of you, and there's a percentage of you watching who are like this, who poo-poo sex. I'm not playing, you black pill guys, I'm not playing woman's game. I'm not a simp. Or money. You know, you're a little left wing in your view about money. Well, I don't have to be a rich person. They're assholes. Rich people are dicks, and fuck you. And I'm not going to do that. And I want to live in the net. Okay, if you poo-poo money or sex, you'll never be long-term happy as a man. You can't. These two things are foundational to you. I hope you get that, because if you don't get that, very little of what I can teach you will work. You have to understand, regardless of your false societal programming, regardless of your religion you were raised with, regardless of what your mommy and daddy told you, regardless of what pop culture tells you, money and sex are critical as a baseline to your life to experience happiness from everything else life has to offer. Okay? Right. Do you know religious people who have no money? I do. They're miserable. Do you know religious people who never get laid? I do. They're miserable. All right. Now, let's talk about what an alpha male looks like internally in his head, and we'll do externally in his life. So there's two components to Alpha Male 2.0: how you are internally and how you are externally. I had a guy on one of my YouTube videos a while back when I was talking about Andrew Tate, and I was criticizing something Andrew Tate was doing. And this was an Andrew Tate worshiper, and he said, well, wait a minute, Caleb, why are you bashing Andrew Tate? He's a total Alpha Male 2.0. He has multiple women. He has multiple passports. He's international. He does everything you do. Why are you bashing him? That's externally. He has Andrew Tate and a lot of other people on the internet have some aspects externally of an Alpha Male 2.0. Andrew Tate has nothing internally about an Alpha Male 2.0. He also has some things externally that are not Alpha Male 2.0 at all. I'm not going to analyze Andrew Tate, but there's more than just I'm dating multiple women and I have multiple passports, therefore I'm an Alpha 2.0. Wrong. Does Andrew Tate look like a happy guy to you? Especially recently, but even before recently. Okay, so now here's an Alpha Male 2.0 internally. Number one, confident. That's what he shares the Alpha Male 1.0. He's confident, believes in himself. Number two, outcome independent. As I mentioned earlier, he doesn't give a shit what other people do, including women he dates, including his kids within reason, including, the people on his staff, including the people in his life, politics, his society, his culture. He doesn't give a fuck about any of that stuff. I don't give a fuck. It's great. Number 3, this is a big one. This is one that most of you are lacking: emotional control. When something that happens to you that makes you mad, you don't get mad. You go, oh, that sucks. Instead of saying, God damn it, and now you're pissed all day. You can't be happy if you have a hair trigger. I'm sorry, you can't. Emotional control. Now, this also means positive emotions. Okay? Ooh, Donald Trump's running for president in 2016. All right, this will be great. He's going to change the world. It'll be great, everybody. He's going to make America great again. That is also lack of emotional control. Very good things that happen in your life, very bad things that happen. You're chill. You control your emotions. Have you ever seen me get legitimately angry? I can scream and yell and stuff. I'm a good actor, right? I was talking to someone last week, and this person said, when's the last time you got mad? Not like frustrated, because I can get frustrated. Sometimes it happens. Mad, like, God damn it. Like truly mad. I said it was about 20 years ago. This is the truth. 20 years ago, a little longer now, I think. Yeah, it's about 20 years ago. In my first marriage, when my kids were little, someone broke into our house and they stole a bunch of our stuff. And my wife at the time, my little kids came home and they were scared and terrified. They ran out and called me and called the police. And my wife at the time was shaking. My kids were scared. I was fucking mad. But that's how bad you had to get to make me mad. I haven't been mad in 20 years. Frustrated, a little irritated sometimes, sure. Mad, no. Because I have emotional control. When is the last time I made a decision because I was so excited? Again, about 20 years ago. When guys on the second or third or fourth date fall in love with a woman and want to marry her, I don't have that problem because I control myself emotionally. Critical. You cannot be happy long term if you freak out and get pissed off at everything or get super excited about everything that happens. Emotional control. Now, what matches that is objective and rational. You look at the world the way it is. That's what Alpha Male 2.0 does. A is A. Is this from Aristotle? Yes. The world is not what you want it to be or what you think it should be. Instead, the world is what it is. Number 3, the world is what it is. If you were very excited in 2016 and you said Donald Trump's going to build a wall and make America great again, you are not rational. Now, I don't want to pick on you Trump guys. If you were a Bernie Sanders supporter or a Barack Obama, I'm using American examples now. I apologize, not American. But non-Americans know American examples as I give American examples. If in 2008 you're like, oh my God, Barack Obama's going to go in there and shut down Guantanamo Bay and end the wars and change the way politics is done in this country. People actually said this back then, and I said, you guys are idiots. You were not rational. Bernie Sanders is going to get in there. He's going to give them all this free stuff. Or let's use a recent one. Joe Biden, I'm going to vote for Joe Biden, and he's going to give you a $2,500 stimmy check. Yes. You are not rational. None of those things happen, and I knew at the time those things would happen because you weren't rational. I'm not talking about you. You get my point. Okay? If you start a business, I'm going to make $1 million next week. You're not rational. Okay? Or something my wife sometimes does. You have a bad day. You're like, my life is fucking ruined. It's ruined my life. You're not rational. That's not rational. Your life isn't ruined because you had a bad day. You dumb fuck. You're not dumb. You're irrational. You cannot be long-term happy if you are irrational. You have to be objective and rational. Everything I talk about, the Western world collapsing, long-term monogamy not working, everything I talk about that are controversial statements that aren't that controversial anymore. When I first started saying them many years ago, they're based in rational, objective, fact-based analysis. Not my opinions, not what I want to work, not what I think should work. Now, are you going to be 100% rational all the time? No. You want to be, 90%. I'm in the 90, 95%. I'm not 100%. I'm a human being. I can be irrational sometimes. I can't remember the last time. I'm sure it's happened. But as compared to the typical person, not even close. Why? Because I have emotional control and I'm not going to depend it. So again, these 4 traits tie together. You have these 4 traits, you're going to be so fucking happy you won't believe it. Next is internal locus of control. I just talked about that in the other webinar I just gave 2 days ago, where you believe that everything that comes from your life is an external manifestation of what you do. My standard thing is everything in your life is your fault. No, it's not. My roommate. No, it's your fault. No, it's not my boss. No, it's your fault. No, it's not my mom when I was 5 did that. No, it's your fault. Everything in your life is your fault. Everything's your fault. Everything in my life is my fault. Which is a good thing because now I can fix it. Because if it wasn't your fault, you'd be fucked. You wouldn't be able to fix it. That's a terrible attitude to have. All right? All right. Now let's talk about how an Alpha Male 2.0 looks externally in his life. Things you can observe. All right? Number one, and there's no hierarchy here, I'm just listing everything. These are all required. $85,000 a year, USD per year income or more. If you make less than $85,000 a year, you are not free. I'm sorry. Sorry, you're not. Even if you have your own business, you're still not free. 85, that's about $7,000 a month. Okay. USD, and to be clear, guys always ask me, is that before or after taxes? That is USD equivalent net income from your business before you pay taxes. Cool? Cool. Pre-tax and net, not gross. I just said that. Great. I read my own mind. You have this income through your own business that you own and control, not a job. I know guys who make 6 figures and even 7 figures from jobs. They are not free, and for the most part, they are not happy. I don't care if you have a job. You don't control your job. You're constantly getting fucked at your job, aren't you? Your job, even if you have a good job, all kinds of problems and limitations on your time. 100% location dependent. Your income from your location independent Alpha 2.0 business cannot be reliant upon where you are. I am 100% location dependent. I'm in Paraguay right now. Do I need to be? I live in Dubai. Do I need to live in Dubai to make my money? No, I don't need to be anywhere. I can go wherever I want, whenever I want, anytime I feel like it, and the money keeps coming in. I'm free. If your income is rooted, even if you have your own business, if your income is rooted to where you live, you are living the lifestyle model of a plant, not of a human being. That's from my friend Doug Casey. He's not really my friend, but I've met him a few times. You are not free, especially today where you live in a collapsing Western civilization. You're living in a collapsing Western civilization. Do you want all your money to be rooted to where you are? That's insanity. Tomorrow, I'm giving an entire presentation. You're invited. It's free on how you can save money and get save a lot of money in taxes by incorporating and getting residency in Dubai. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. We're doing it tomorrow at the same time today. For example, okay, the reason I'm here in Paraguay is we do a get residency in Paraguay service. We do one for Mexico. We do it for Romania. We do a lot of things. But the point is, I don't care what you want to do. You have to be location independent. Even if you say, but I love where I live. Great. Stay where you are, but be location independent so that there's ever a problem in the future where you are, and there will be if you live in the collapsing Western world, you can leave whenever the hell you want. There are lots of people who used to love California. Do you think they like California now? But they're stuck there because you're location dependent. A lot of Europeans who 20 years ago loved Europe. Do you think they're happy now? No, but they're fucked. I get the emails all the time. I used to love where I live. Now it sucks. I can't get out because I didn't take your advice. I'm location dependent. Yeah. You can maintain your income on less than 30 hours per week, just like I can. So if you make a lot of money, but you have to work 50, 60, 70 hours a week to maintain that income, you are not free. I know a lot of guys in my professional consulting practice in that scenario. They make a lot of money, but they have to work 50, 60 hours a week. Opposite of free. It'd be better if you made 85,000 less than 500,000, and then you could set your own hours and work a few hours a week. It'd be better. So that's financial. Let's talk about in your personal life. Multiple women in your dating relationship life. Now again, multiple does not mean 27. And if you say, but I want to be married, have kids, you can do that. I am married and I have kids. Talk about that. Multiple. So let me define what multiple. I mentioned this earlier. I'll say it again to be clear. There's some confusion about this. Multiple means not zero. So that means if you never have sex, if you're a big MGTOW, if you're a big black pill guy, if you're like, well, women are too much work, well, I don't have time for women in my life right now, you are not free because you are not happy. If you're going without sex, you are not happy. Well, Caleb, what about Buddhist monks? You're not a Buddhist monk. You fucking dork. Stop making excuses. You need to get laid. Do you need a girlfriend? No. If you're under the age of 30, you shouldn't have a girlfriend. Girlfriends are only for a certain type of man. I didn't say get a girlfriend. I didn't say spend 20 hours a week with girls. I don't. Are you insane? I got shit to do. Get laid. FBs, friends with benefits, whatever you need to do. So if you're having zero sex, because you have zero in your life, that is a problem you need to fix. You need to consider that as if you were sick or had cancer, you need to fix it. Not like, well, that's just the way I am because women suck. Women are bitches because Rollo said so. No, and I like Rollo. You get my point, okay? So not zero and not one. This is all you monogamous guys. A lot of you may be one of them. You're in a monogamous relationship with a girlfriend or a live-in girlfriend or a wife, and you are not allowed to have sex with anybody except her. So when, not if, when you want to have sex with her, she says, no, you have no options. You can go jerk off the porn like a beta male pussy. You are not free if you're monogamous. I'm sorry. And I was monogamous for many years. And as soon as I wasn't monogamous, I said, okay, that doesn't work. I'm never doing that again. Fuck that. I don't care how much I love her. I don't care what, I don't care. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Okay. So not 0 and not 1. That means 2 or more. 2 women. That's fine. No one is saying you need to date 12 women. 2. 1 MLTR, one woman you date and kind of like, and 1 FB, it's friends with benefits on the side, is achievable by any man watching this right now. That is achievable. I also didn't say supermodels or 19-year-olds. Whatever you like. I don't care. As long as it's more than 1, which means 2 is fine. I think 3 is a best minimum, but 2 is acceptable. Okay. Constant and recurring, no dry spells. I mentioned this earlier. These are women you're seeing on a regular basis. Not women you see for a few months and then they dump you and you're like, oh shit, I gotta go get more girls now. No, that for a while, that's okay. If you're a hardcore player, young guy in your dating mode, or you're an older man, you just got divorced and you're sowing some wild oats for a while, okay, fine. On temporary periods, that's okay. Long-term, you need recurring women to build a relationship. Long-term. Eventually, you're gonna want that. Now, if you're 25 and you say, I don't want that, great. Get 2 FBs and you're good. It's fine. If you're an older guy, you're going to want something more real, right? If you're in your 40s, 50s like me, yeah, I'm married. This is important. All the women you're having sex with, the 2 you're having sex with, or more if you want, are either cute or hot to you. So I follow a 4-tier attractiveness level for women, attractiveness rating. I don't like to do one, she's a 7, she's an 8. These are completely subjective. If I show you a picture and say what number is her and you put them in the chat there what number she is, you'll get all different numbers. So saying an 8 is useless. It's only good for you internally. So instead I have ugly, average, cute, and hot. Okay? Everyone, a lot of people, there's a lot of agreement on that. Ugly, average, cute, and hot. So every woman you have sex with is either cute or hot to you. Not to me, not to your brother, not even to society, to you, whatever you like. I know men very well when it comes to their sexual desires. Done a lot of research on this, talked to a lot of you. Lots of men are different. Some of you guys like fat chicks. Some of you guys like big girls. Some of you guys like real fit, athletic CrossFit chicks. Some of you guys like little petite women. Some of you guys like skinny women. Some of you guys like big tits. Some of you guys like small tits. Some of you guys like Asians. Some of you hate Asians. To you, okay? Cute or hot to you. If you only have sex with women who are average or ugly to you, I'm not calling them average or ugly, what you think they are. You will never be long-term happy. And there are guys out there who get laid a decent amount, but they, by their own admission, I'm not saying this, they tell me, yeah, they're all ugly. Oh, they're ugly as fuck. They're fat, they're ugly, they're gross. But I get laid. That's not going to make you happy long-term. Sorry. You got to up your game a little bit. Now, the good news is if you're one of those guys, it's not a big change. If you're getting laid a lot, but they're all average or ugly, getting some cute girls in is not that difficult. It really isn't. All right. So those are the baselines in terms of how an alpha male looks like externally. You make $85,000 a year location dependent, and you're seeing 2 women on a regular basis who are cute and hot in your sex life, either casual, serious, whatever you want. Boy, are you fucking happy. Awesome. All right, there are 3 secrets to this. We're going to cover all 3. Number 1, 3-pronged lifestyle geared toward freedom. I'll talk about that. Number 2, owning a location-independent alpha tupano business. Number 3, dating and relationship management skills. Those are 2 different things. You need both. So you need all 3 of these things. I'm going to cover all 3 right now. All right. So hang on one second. I'm getting all worked up. Hang on a second. Let me turn up my AC. I did this yesterday, didn't I? Or the day before when I did a webinar. When did I do the last one? Yeah, yesterday was the 4th of July, wasn't it? Hang on. Let's see. There we go. It's winter here in Paraguay, so it's like 85 Fahrenheit and sunny. That's for being location dependent. You just have awesome weather year round. It's awesome. Okay. Most men have temporary freedom only. There's a point in their time where they have freedom, and then they don't. So when they're younger and they first move out of their parents' house, there's a brief period where they're free, and then they get a girlfriend or they get a job, right? Or guys right after a divorce, he goes to the divorce, he goes to the pain and suffering divorce, he's sad, then he feels great, then he starts dating girls, and then he falls into one and goes, oh my God, I'm so in love, she's so amazing, and he goes right back to monogamy and right back to being a slave again. Okay, so they're for a while and they have no girlfriend, no wife, no kids, no job. Sometimes if you're younger, or no typical business. That'd be a non-alpha 2.0 business, location dependent, like brick and mortar, or even non-brick and mortar, but location dependent. No debt. If you have a lot of debt, you are not free. You are not free. You are not free. But as soon as they get one of these things, their freedom is gone. So there was a time maybe in your life where you had none of these things, none of this, what I call life infrastructure. And then you get one of these things and now your freedom is gone. And then these things compound. You get a wife. Then you have kids. Are you more or less free when you have children? You're less free. I'm not saying don't have kids. You want to have kids. I have two. But be aware. Your wife, kids, then what happens? Debt, right? And job. And now you have to work at this horrible job to support your life you hate. Right? So many men like this in modern era. Right? All right. There are 4 freedoms. You talk about a freedom-based lifestyle. Number 1 is freedom of action. That means you can do whatever you want. So if you're in prison, you don't have freedom of action. If you're in a monogamous relationship, you don't have freedom of action. You have some freedom, but not much. You have a job. The ability to go do whatever you want. If you live in North Korea, you don't have freedom of action, right? Right. The next one is financial freedom. Now, financial freedom sometimes is defined as financial independence, which is not the way I define financial freedom. Financial independence means you have such a high net worth, you could quit your job or quit your business tomorrow and retire. And your passive investments would pay all your bills. That's financial independence. Financial freedom in this context means you don't strongly desire anything you can't afford. That makes sense? So whatever you strongly want, you can go buy right now. That's me. And when you get to that point, you don't want anything because you bought everything. So there's nothing I strongly want to buy that I can't afford. I could go down right now, not right now, I live in Paraguay. When I go back home in Dubai, I could go down the street, and it's literally down the street to the Bugatti dealership, and I could buy a Bugatti. I can pay cash for it. It's fine. I can do that. I don't want a Bugatti. So it's fine. But I could afford it. So anything I want, I could afford. More or less. There might be a few things. What about, can you buy an island? I don't really want, I said strongly desire. I don't strongly desire my own island. So I'm good. So that's what financial freedom means. You make enough money where everything you really want, you can just get, which means you probably already have it. That's what if you really want something you can't afford, you really want it bad, you're not financially free because you're unhappy. Either you reorient your life, or your brain, I should say, to not want that thing, or you get out there, get your ass out in the world, make more money so you can afford it. Right? Sexual freedom. The ability to have sex with whomever you want, mutually consenting adults, of course. Whenever you want, check in with anyone. If you're monogamous, you do not have this. If you are sexless, you don't have this. I am married, but I can have sex with other women whenever I want. I do every week. I'll talk about it in a minute. I can have sex with mutually consenting adults whenever I feel like it. I'm in Paraguay. What do you think I'm doing here? No, the answer is I'm working hard, but I have some friends down here as well. Social freedom means that you have the mental ability to go live any way you want, and you don't give a shit, this is document independence, of what other people say about your lifestyle. Do you think my traditional family understands or agrees with my lifestyle? No. Do I care? No. I'm publicly saying this on the internet. You think there's going to be some people who go, he has sex with other women even though he's married? What an asshole. Yes. Do I care? No. So you live your life in a way that you want to live without worrying about what society says about your life. Make sense? My wife, we just did a video, Pink Firefly. It's a Pink Firefly AMA where you guys wrote in a bunch of questions. That video is going up next week. And so my wife is one of the few women in the entire world who has a non-monogamous marriage who is totally open about everything we're doing, because she has this too. She has enough confidence to tell the world about details of her open sex marriage with her husband, where her husband fucks other women, and she can talk about it to the world. Do you think her mom really liked that when we first got together? No. Okay. So that's a social freedom. If you're outcome dependent, you're worried about what my mom might think or what my grandma might think. So many guys, alpha males, former alpha males, players, pickup artists, red pill guys, they live this lifestyle and then they get married, traditionally monogamously married. And when I go, what the hell are you doing? Including some big name guys, I won't mention their names. They go, well, I want a relationship that, my mom will be proud of, or that my grandma will be proud of. You piece of shit, you dumb fuck. Now you're never gonna be happy. Sorry. Big name guys that I won't say their names in the pickup artist world, or formerly in the pickup artist world, at red pill world, have said this to me. Well, I want a relationship that my mom will, my mom is cool with. Men in their 30s and 40s, psychos, because they don't have social freedom. They're too concerned. How come depend what other people might think about what they're doing? I don't give a fuck what people think about my life. They can go fuck themselves. I don't care. I'm too busy living a great life. I'm outcome independent. All right. I'm not going to go through all these things. Just go through that really quick. These are the 3 areas that you have to work on in terms of freedom. So financial, you need a certain amount of income, location independence, time freedom, which means you're not working long hours. You can't have a lot of debt. There's good debt and bad debt. That's a discussion in itself. If you want to discuss that, you can ask me in the Q&A. Okay? You need all these things. Women, we're going to talk about this in a minute. Pickup skills and relationship management, which are 2 different skill sets. Pickup artists know how to get laid, but they are terrible when they start dating someone. They're just as bad as betas, sometimes worse. Sexual freedom, which I mentioned earlier. Sexual variety. So here's the thing on sexual variety. Here's my favorite celebrity example. And those of you who are younger may not know about this. Those of you my age will remember this. Famous actor named Hugh Grant in the 90s. Big famous actor. Less famous today than they used to be. Big famous A-list leading man, British actor in the 90s. Was married to Elizabeth Hurley, who many said was the most beautiful woman of the 90s. Gorgeous model, famous actress. Okay. Monogamous marriage because he was stupid. And he got caught one night in a car having sex with a fat black prostitute. It's a big scandal. It knocked his career off for like 15 years. He finally just returned to movies a few years ago. And everyone was very confused. He's married to the most beautiful woman in the world. And many of you would probably agree. Go, if you don't know what I'm talking about, do a Google search for Elizabeth Hurley 90s. Gorgeous, okay? Everyone was confused, including men who should know better. Women, especially men, like, he's married those? Why would he have sex? They showed a picture of this fat black female prostitute, and they're like, what the hell was he doing? Why was he having sex with a fat black woman when he was married to the most beautiful woman in the world? That makes no sense. That makes perfect sense if you understand masculine sexual psychology. What do we like in terms of men sexually when we're allowed to say this? And we're scared to say, I'm not scared, but a lot of you are scared to say this. Variety. So if you're married to a skinny, smoking hot white girl, guess what you kind of start to want? You know, the chunky, curvy black girl with the big A's, right? Now, not literally that, but something else. If you date a bunch of Asian girls, guess who you're eventually going to start to want? And I've been there. I did a bunch of Asian girls like, okay, I need to get back to my blonde Barbies, right? If you have sex with nothing but blonde Barbies, because I've been there, guess who you start to want? Something different. So if you have multiple women, ideally, they should look different from each other. So my wife is a Barbie blonde. I'll show you pictures in a second. But she has a small ass. I like a big ass. So guess what all my FBs have? Just about all of them, especially here in Paraguay. Big A's. Variety. That does not make you a pig. That makes you normal and human and healthy and a man. That's the way you're biologically wired. And if you deny this, every woman, I can only be with one woman, which is really bad, or I can be with more women, but they all have to look the same. Occasionally I'll run into guys who only date dark-skinned Asian girls. That's it. They don't. No. White girls are bitches. Okay, but they only date dark-skinned Asian girls. Well, why don't you date a black girl, date a taller girl or something? There's something else you want, right? Okay. Physical. I'm not going to cover this in detail because that's a little off topic, but if you are over the age of 35, Alpha Male 2.0, you need to start paying attention to your health, your energy level, and your appearance for your age. I am 51 years old. Do I look 51 years old? Is this the hand of a 51-year-old man? No. So I do anti-aging. I have high energy. I do all these things because when you hit 35, you cross over from a younger man into an older man, and there's new things you have to do. You have to start exercising all the time. You have to work out. You got to watch what you eat. You got to drink a lot of agua, okay? Skin regimen. Now, if you're under 35, guys will say, well, men under 35 should work out too, Caleb. Yes, they should, but they don't have to. When you're under 35 and you're a young guy, and I remember, and most of you young guys can relate to this, or you older guys remember when you were young, you can kind of fuck with your body and still be functional. You can go out on Tuesday night and get drunk all night and puke all night, and the next morning get up for work. You don't feel very good, but you're functional. Can you do that when you're 50 or 40? No, you can't. Your body says, fuck you. No. So the rules start to change. You hit 35. Just be aware of this. Physical optimization becomes mandatory in terms of health. All right. We're not talking here about getting free. We're talking here about staying free forever. I just want to reiterate that again. We're not like, okay, I'm going to divorce my wife and start my own business, and then you're free for 2 years, and then you go back into a monogamous relationship, and then you hire a bunch of employees, and now you just destroy your freedom. You get free and you stay free forever. I am more free than I was in 2007 when I adopted this lifestyle, but I've been free since 2007. And I'm never, ever, 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 ever going back. I am never getting monogamous ever again for the rest of my life, as long as I have the ability to have sex. Ever, and my wife knows this, all the way my life knows this. I am never going to close my companies and go get a job. Never, ever, never. Okay? I'm never going to start a traditional business where I got to hire 50 W-2 salaried employees, and now I have to be a manager and manage all these. Never, never, never. I want to be free. Okay? You can have both. But Caleb, I want children. But Caleb, I want a wife. But Caleb, I want this. You can have both. Talk about it in a minute. All right. Next one. Owning a location-independent Alpha 2.0 business. The Alpha 2.0 business model I've been teaching for over a decade. 100% location-dependent. It makes you $7,000 a month. That is the objective of the business. Less than 30 hours a week to maintain. Many, 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 many of you have already done this. Some of you have joined our 90-day business builder program. Some of you read my books. By the way, the 90-day business builder program is open again. I haven't announced it, but it's open. 90daybizbuilder.com if you want to check that out. We'll show you how to do it. No employees, no salaried W-2 employees. You're going to have helpers. I have 20 people on my team, but none of them are employees. They're all virtual assistants, subcontractors, etc. Little overhead. My entire business empire, 7-figure business empire, is right here. It's this laptop right here, 2 phones, and that webcam. And that's it. That's it. That's my entire business infrastructure. I have no offices. I have no inventory. I have no capital goods. I have no equipment. That's it. I'm mobile. So here are the requirements: $85,000 a year. Only work 50 to 30 hours a week to maintain your income. Location-dependent income. Okay. Spend time literally in the world. Live wherever you want. Travel wherever you want. Go there for as long as you want. Not this, I can go on a 2-week vacation, but I got to get back before my business goes under. Work a lot of guys like that. No, I can leave and be gone for 6 months. No dip in income while I'm gone. I'm location dependent. Minimum hassle and overhead because no W-2 employees, no infrastructure. Huh? No employees, already talked about that. And this is diversified income streams. I will show you an example of that in a second. And you can start your business for $0 or close to it. This company, Alpha Male 2.0 and Sovereign CEOs, and I'll go through a company called Black Dragon I started in 2009 for $29. This is a 7-figure or at least high 6-figure income stream for me. This business started for $29. These guys say, I can't start a business. I have no money. You don't need money to start a business. Sorry. Now, it takes longer to get to the big money if you start for no money. That's true. You got to be more patient if you start from zero, but you don't need any money. We have guys in our business builder program, multiple guys, who are making thousands of dollars in less than 12 weeks, less than 3 months, from no money spent. They make a few phone calls, make a few contacts on LinkedIn. We've had several guys do this. No money spent. It's awesome. Okay? So get this out of your head. I can't start a business. I have no money. You don't need any money. I started my first business when I was 24 years old. Do you think I had any money when I was 24? No. Okay. Next, in your Alpha 2.0 location-dependent business, you only sell to a very narrow niche. Now, the niche could be types of people, B2C, or types of companies, B2B. That's fine. But it's a narrow niche. Doctors is not a niche. Gamers is not a niche. Okay? Lumber companies is not a niche. Niche. Orthopedic surgeons who are from India who are ready to retire. That's a niche. Okay? I use this example, security consulting to auto parts stores. That's a niche. Niched. The narrow niche, the better. The more money you will make, the easier it is to market, the more you can charge, and the easier it is to hit your financial goals. You don't want to sell to everybody. I'm going to sell to everyone who wants to lose weight. Stupid. Nope. Niche. You only sell a high margin item. It's going to be a product, information, or service that helps that niche solve a specific problem they are already experiencing. High margin means it costs to the customer way more than it costs you. If you have your widget and you mark it up by 17% and sell it, that's not high margin. But instead, if you sell something at 300%, 500%, 1,000%. I've sold things at 3,000%, 5,000% markup. That's high margin. The beauty of high margin is you don't need very many customers to hit your financial goals. Low margin, you better be really good. You better be getting thousands and thousands and thousands of customers because you're selling toothpaste or something. That makes sense? And you're solving a problem the niche already has. You're not projecting your problem on the niche. You're not going to say, I think this niche needs this, so I'm going to tell them no. You ask them, what is your problem, niche? And they say, holy shit, our problem is this. You say, great. You're going to sell a product, information, or service that helps solve or alleviate that problem. That's it. These two things on the screen right here is, I would say, 70% of business success in the modern era. The other 30% of marketing. But that's 70% of it right there. Because that's something that business owners don't do. They start a business that they want to start. I'm good at this, so I'm going to start this. So they're not trying to solve any problems. And then they don't niche. They sell to anyone in the universe who wants it. And wow, they go out of business. What a big shock. Yeah. 100% location independent fashion. That means you both sales and delivery. You can get clients and customers without having to physically go there. And you can deliver your product, service, or information without having to go there. It's all delivered location dependent, and you can get clients location dependent. All my companies are 100% location dependent. I can get new clients and customers without going to their cities, and I can deliver their services, information, whatever, without going to their cities. Internet makes that pretty easy. How are we doing on time? God damn, I need to hustle. All right. This is an example of my Alpha 2.0 business structure for most of the past 15, 16 years. Today, it looks different, just to be clear. But for most of the past 15 years, I would say about 10, 11 years, this is what it looked like. Today, it's more complex, and I don't want to go there. But this is an example of how this works. When you have multiple income streams, multiple businesses in different niches. So ideally, what you want is 2 to 4 location-independent businesses in completely different niches that have nothing to do with each other. Because now you're stable, you're diversified. You have a spare tire in your car. Do you have a spare income? No. Well, that's stupid. I would imagine the spare income is more important than spare tire, right? Right. So here's my structure. First, I had a consulting practice, and it wasn't very niched because that was my first company. Excuse me, I did management consulting, time management consulting, and productivity consulting. I worked with lumber companies, biotech companies, and sports companies. Okay. Second company was Alpha Male 2.0, this one right here. Black Dragon and Sovereign CEO are both under that umbrella. And that is for open-minded, unmarried men aged 25 to 45. The niche is a little more specific than that, but that's enough I can fit on here. This is an online company selling dating and relationship and lifestyle design topics to men. So notice how different these two are. Why is it not showing up that way? Here we go. Corporate consulting and then selling ebooks and courses on the internet to men. Two completely different businesses that have nothing to do with each other. And that's what I wanted. Because now if one goes out of business, I'm okay. I'm pissed, but I'm okay. Instead of just having one business in one niche. Third company I had for many years, I shut it down in the pandemic and replaced it with something else. This is a computer consultant marketing company called CCM. And that was to on-site IT service companies. That was my niche. I didn't sell to anybody else. We sold marketing, we got them clients. And we took a percentage of the clients we got them. Okay? So you'll notice 3 completely different niches that have nothing to do with each other at all. So that way, if there's a problem with any one of these, it doesn't really matter. So if one of these went out of business, I don't care. I'm pissed, but I don't care. Whereas if you have one business and one income stream, then you have a problem with that business, you're screwed. All these morons on YouTube, and their only source of income is YouTube ad revenue, AdSense, and then YouTube changes the algorithm and they freak out, can't pay their bills because they have one business with one income stream. Stupid in the modern era. You could do this prior to the 90s. Prior to the 90s, you could have one business with one income stream and be set for life. You cannot do that anymore since the fucking 90s, and people still do this. Sorry, you can't. Those days are long gone. Now, you don't start all of your companies all at the same time. One at a time. You get one up and running to a certain level, then you put that on maintenance mode, you get the second one up and running. The third one if you want. 2 to 4. You only need 2 if you want. You can have 3, you can have 4. No more than 4. So here are the income streams now in these companies. I didn't have one income stream per business. I wanted multiple streams. So in my consulting practice, I did consulting, obviously. I charged for workshops. These are internal corporate workshops. White papers. Still do this stuff, by the way. These are customized proprietary white papers, technical documents, and then joint ventures, other consultants. So 4 income streams in this company. Okay. Over at Alpha Male 2.0, a lot of income streams. I sell ebooks. I sell printed books, which is a different marketing income stream than ebooks. The guy that needs a physical book in his hand is very different than the dude who just whips through a book on his phone. That's a different marketplace, different stream. Okay? Audiobooks, another different stream. Make a lot of money on audiobooks. I made a lot of money on audiobooks. Most of you have probably, quote unquote, read my books by listening to them in my beautiful, sexy, sexy voice. Right? Right. What else? Online courses, very profitable for me. Video training courses. Coaching. I don't do one-on-one coaching. I do one-on-one coaching as part of one of our coaching programs. I don't do them separately anymore unless you want to pay me a lot of money. Coaching programs. We have the 500K Business Accelerator. We have the 90-Day Business Builder. We have the Unchained Man Society, which is a replacement for SMIC. We have Founder Set. We have 4. So I have those. Over the years, I've had many. I've also done seminars. Still do them. Paid seminars, free seminars, affiliate sales. That's another income stream. Not a big, strong one, but I've got one. And then joint ventures with other content creators. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 income streams. See how this works? Instead of just, I love these guys who want to start a business because they want to sell a book. I want to write a book and sell it on Amazon. No, that's not a good business. Write a book, then have a course, then have a coaching service, then have some kind of coaching program, then do live events, either live webinars we charge money for, and then real live events in real world. Build it out. Okay. Now over here, CCM. This one only had 2 income streams, but they were very, very big. So I sold marketing services, and I sold licensing. I licensed my marketing stuff to other companies that were non-competes. So if you look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different income streams from 3 completely different niches. That's how this works. I'm one of the most financially stable men on earth. Even when I have financial problems in any one particular business, I'm still okay in terms of my financial life. Makes sense? Now let's talk about girls. Girls, girls, girls. That's a Motley Crue song from the 80s for you young guys. Dating skills and relationship management skills. 2 pillars of Alpha Male 2.0 relationships. One is dating, or if you like, pickup skills. Some of you don't like that term. If you're turned off by that term, dating skills. That is the ability to bring new women into your sex life or relationship life. That's what that means. So if you don't have dating or pickup skills, you don't know how to get new girls. And most men don't because they're betas. They don't know how. They have no idea, right? Like, oh no. And I remember being a beta in the 90s. I remember this. I remember these feelings. I'd be dating a girl. She'd dump me because that's what women are biologically hardwired to do, to dump men eventually. They get bored. That's how women are work. That's why long-term monogamy doesn't work. So she would dump me. And I go, my first thought, now most guys first thought, go, oh, I love you, come back. I wasn't quite that bad of a beta, but here was my thought. My thought was, oh, great. It's going to be at least 6 months before I have sex again because I got to go find a new girl. I don't know how to find a new girl. How the fuck do I do that? When I call a bunch of girls and say, hey, let's go on a date. I didn't know what to do, so I didn't have dating or pickup skills. You need these because I don't know if you've noticed, women don't stick around forever. The real divorce rate, not the 50% bullshit rate based on the number of marriages that were divorced in a given year. That's not relevant to you as your odds of getting divorced. The real divorce rate in the Western world is more than 76%. 70 to 80% of all divorces are filed by the woman. 3/4 of all girlfriend-boyfriend relationships are terminated by the women. Women are biologically hardwired to eventually leave men. We can do a whole discussion about that. I won't. And if you're red pill, you already know all about this, don't you? Right? You're talking about hypergamy. The point is, you need to have the ability to bring new women in whenever you need them, even if you are currently married, because the odds are decent she's not going to be around forever. Sorry, those are the odds. Maybe she will, but if she will, what if she says no to sex? Then what do you do? Go jerk off the porn and have fun. You're monogamous. You still need new girls. Okay? So you need that skill set. However, you need another skill set that the pickup artists, the players, a lot of red pill guys do not talk about. And this is a completely different set of skills. And this is how to manage ongoing non-monogamous relationships. How to manage a relationship non-monogamously so the women you bring in stay with you for years and years, not forever, but stay with you for years and years and years without arguing with you and giving you a bunch of crap and saying, why are you fucking all these other girls? You need management skills to manage those relationships so they stick around. You do not be, in my opinion, one of these guys who bangs a lot of girls, but every girl leaves after the second time you have sex because he's too player. That's a lot of goddamn work. Again, maybe in your 20s for a few years, fine. But your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, you're going to hate that. You need both sets of skills. The Alpha Male 2.0, we teach two completely both those skill sets. Bringing new women in and keeping them there. You need both. If you're a beta male, you have neither of these skills. You're at the whim of women. It sucks. If you're a pickup artist, player dude, you have number one, you don't have number two. And I personally know many pickup artists, players, alpha males, alpha male 1.0s, red pill guys, some big name guys, names you would know if I said them. They're great at getting laid. As soon as they get a girlfriend, it's a nightmare from hell. They have all kinds of problems. It's awful. They're just as bad as beta males, if not worse, because they don't have number two. They don't have the non-monogamous relationship management skills. I'll say two words: Neil Strauss. Go read some of his books. It'll give you heart palpitations. Nothing against Neil. He seems like a very cool guy. Nice guy. I like it. But my God, he has this. He has number one. He has none of number two. And he's not unusual. I could list 20 guys right now. I won't. I don't want to start shit on the internet, but I could. A lot of you guys know what I'm talking about, don't you? All right. So let me give you my example of my last 16 years. Since 2007, I am always dating at least 3 women. That is my minimum, often 5+. Today, that number is more than 5, but these are women in different countries. So I have different flags, different countries. I spend a certain amount of time in Dubai, United States, Paraguay, Mexico, Armenia. I'm all over the place. So I have women in all these, not all of them, but most of these places. Some of these relationships were serious. Others were casual. Some of them were very serious. We talk about in Alpha Male 2.0 3 levels. There's FB, MLTR, OLTR. I'll talk about those later if you want. But if you don't want anything serious, fine. Have casual ones. If you want to get married, great, get married. I'll talk about that next. All the women were cute or hot. I put in there with rare exception because, gotta be honest, there's a small percentage who were 7s or below. But even those women, to be honest with you, were grandfathered in. They were women who were cute or hot, and they started gaining some weight, and I kept them around because of the relationship we had. There's been a few of those, but those are the exception. Today, I'm with women who are Instagram models, multiple ones, who have literally millions of Instagram followers. I'm with some of the most beautiful women in the world today, literally. Multiple. And even before that, when I was in Portland, they were hot or cute, all of them. I made a pact, so many of you know this, I made a pact with myself in 2007 when I went into the dating world after my divorce. I said, I'm only going to date women who are hot. I am not going to waste my time at all with women who are average or ugly. I'm going to just, from day one, figure out how I get with hot, or the hottest I could get. And in 2007, I've talked about this on podcasts and things like this. You can go watch those or listen to those. I was shocked at these gorgeous chicks who were sitting across from me at the bar on these first dates from online dating. I'm like, oh my God. I had control my breathing because they were so attractive. So it worked. Not that tough. I mentioned this before, 60% of the women were 15 to 25 years younger than me. I can give you specifics, but you can ask me the Q&A if you care. I spent zero or near zero money in the vast majority of these relationships. My last girlfriend before my wife was an Asian girl. We started seeing her as casually as an FB. We started getting more serious when she was in her 20s. She would take me out to dinner every time we went out, and she would pay for it all. She would clean my house and take me out to dinner and buy me the food. So some of these were actually not even zero money. They were net profits for me. And she was not unusual. Yes, today, in the last few years, I've done some sugar daddy game where some money is involved. Yes, I've done that. I'm 51. I've been with lots of women. I'm a very busy guy. I run multiple companies. It makes sense for me at this point in my life. Some of you, that's an option. That's fine. My point is that's just the last few years, as I said earlier. The vast majority, the relationships I had, there was no money involved. Either I spent zero money because they were FBs, or I spent a little money because they were MLTRs, a little. Or in many cases, I spent negative. I got money because they paid for the food. Okay. Okay, I got to hurry up. Today, I'm 51 years old. Here's my relationship life today. This is my wife, Pink Firefly. This picture was taken a few weeks ago in Dubai. We're on the beach. I live a rough life, as you can tell. There's another picture of us that was also a few weeks ago. That was in Maldives. She's getting a 6-pack. See that 6-pack right there? She has hired a trainer. When you are married to a beautiful woman and you move to Dubai, she gets even more beautiful because of all the hot chicks. She goes, oh my God, I got to step it up. By the way, my wife is 43 years old. That's what 43 looks like if you do this correctly. And you're with someone who cares about aging and has good genetics. You don't have to marry, these young girls. But anyway, an example. I have a non-monogamous marriage. I have sex with other women every week. And that's literal, pretty much every week. Rarely is there a week where I don't do this. I mean, it happens, but it's pretty rare. She knows what I'm doing, and she's cool with it. She does not have sex with other men because she doesn't want to. She is technically allowed to in my models. Otherwise, I'd have to monitor her and correct her and worry about it. And we could go on that and talk about that in the Q&A if you want. She is technically, but she doesn't want to because as a woman gets older, her ASD rises. She doesn't want to have sex with other men. She's 43, but she is technically allowed to, but she doesn't. We're having a full AMA next week where we talk about that. More importantly, there is a 100% legal, logistical, financial, and international barrier between my money and her money. We have separate finances. So if God forbid we broke up or get divorced, I don't lose a single penny of my money. I don't get divorced, raped like so many men do in the Western world. I don't lose a single penny. It will cost me, I know the number, it'll be about $160 US for court filing fees, and that's it. I can give her money if I want. I could choose to, which is the way divorce is supposed to work, but I don't have to. So now I've covered the two problems of monogamous traditional marriage. My wife can't say, I'm not having sex with you. You're not getting any tonight. Okay, fine. I get on my phone. I schedule something for tomorrow with one of my IFPs. Or you better not do this. I'm going to divorce you. Take half your money. She doesn't get anything if we get divorced. So now I'm covered. I have the perfect marriage. It's called an OLTR marriage. Some of you have this. That's how you settle down with a woman in the modern era. Nothing wrong with marriage. Really, there isn't. The problem with marriage is you're not allowed to have sex with other women. What if she says no? That's a problem. And she could ruin you financially if she decides to wake up and divorce you one day. That's bullshit. You take those two things away and you're good. And you can't assume the marriage will last forever. I don't assume that my marriage will last forever. Never said this. I would like to. That'd be awesome. But if it doesn't, I'm covered. And I'll keep having sex with my FBs. You see how you can be married and still be free and do whatever you want? Not one penny lost. If I get divorced, I travel around the world alone or with her. Sometimes I travel with her. Sometimes I travel alone. I'm in Paraguay. She doesn't want to go to Paraguay, so I'm here alone. I'm not alone. I have FBs there, but you get my point. I'm married, but I can do whatever I want. I have 2 children, not with her, but my first wife. I know men who are doing this and have kids. Well, I want kids. You can have kids. Who said you have to be monogamous to your wife to have babies? Who said this? You're probably your goddamn religion, right? Right. Okay, quick intermission. If you're on my mailing list, you already know this. There's a comic book I've written which talks about Alpha Male 2.0 in a fun and exciting way because I have to penetrate your subconscious. It's called Black Dragon and Pink Firefly, loosely based on myself and my wife. This is issue number 1. And if you're on my mailing list, you will be sent issue 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the next few days. We're promoting the new Unchained Man book. So if you're getting the Alpha Male 2.0 newsletter in your email, you don't need to do anything. You'll get these comics. If you are not getting that, you want these, you want to go to alphamale20.com and you download this Alpha 2.0 starter kit. It's at the top of the page. You'll get an opt-in request for a mailing list. Say yes, and you'll get those. We released comic 1 and 2 last year when we promoted the NFTs. Since then, we have completed up to number 6. So you'll get 1 through 5 in the next few days. You've already been sent 1 and 2. That's issue number 1. Matter of fact, if you want, hang on a second. I'll show you the covers of the other ones. Hang on a minute. How do I? Hang on a second. They're free. They're free. I do this to promote things. I'm a marketer. Hang on a second. Because a few of you asked. Hang on a second. So that's issue number 1. These are just the covers. Shit, what happened here? Hang on, don't know what I'm doing. Okay, that's issue number 2. That's the cover. That's issue number 3. That's issue number 4. That's issue number 5. That's issue number 6. You're not getting number 6. That one you have to either pay for or something else. Cool. Okay. I'm actually building out this brand because no one wants to read anymore. People are too stupid and they don't want to read a 440-page book. So I got to do things like comic books. So it's comedy, it's funny, it's not serious. Don't take any of this seriously. It's all silly and funny. It's also an excuse for you to write fiction. But anyway. All right, let me go back to hang on. Back to my slides. Okay. What do I want to say about that? That's it. Now, really quick. If you could do even some of what I've talked about, what would that be worth to you? So here's the deal. Some of you already know this. My primary book, The Unchained Man, is how to create an alpha male 2.0 lifestyle. Business, women, lifestyle, internally, societal programming, everything. Time management. It covers everything. It's 450 pages. I am completely rewriting this book. And I'm doing this right now. The Unchained Man, I have sold over 100,000 copies of this book. I don't know the exact number, and it's hard to get the exact number. Very hard to count, but it's well over 100,000 copies since I first published it. It is equivalent to a New York Times bestseller. Why can't I say that? This is the most important book I have ever written and the most important book I will ever write. I've written 8 books, and this one is the biggest, most important one by far. I don't think I will ever write another book that's important. This is it. I'll write other books, especially when I get to my next phase of my life. I don't care about money. But this is it. Now, took me 2.5 years to write this book. Other books I've written, I'm a good writer. I'm able to write books. That's my favorite thing to do is write. So often I've written books within 3-4 months. This one took 2.5 years. This was like blood, sweat, and tears of my soul. This is the most important thing I've ever written. Thousands of you have told me at my seminars, through my email, through my social media, in person, that this book has changed your life. Thousands of men have told me this. Guys who said, I bought the bullets to the gun to kill myself, and then I read your book. And now I have my own business. I have 3 women on rotation. Guys who said I was in this horrible marriage, and I was depressed, and I hated my wife. Now I'm divorced. I have an MLTR, and I have my own business. I mean, on and on and on. There are men who have now become millionaires. I could name 3 or 4 right off the top of my head right now, who bought the book, started their Alpha 2.0 business, are now multimillionaires today. And they attribute it to this book. I'm serious. I want to mention a few names, but I really want to get their permission before I talk about what their net worth is. Anyway, some of them you may know. Matter of fact, some of them you do know. Many men have turned their entire dating and relationship lives around with this book. This is, I can't tell you how important this book is to me and to what it can do for you. And if you've read this book, a lot of you have, you know. You already know. You know, right? I am completely updating this book. I published it in 2014. So I'm redoing it. Full rewrite. I'm updating everything in the book that needs to be updated. I'm doing it right now. Everything. I'm going through every sentence, every word. And if it's still valid, a lot of it is, I leave it in there. If it needs to be changed or updated, or need added, something needs to be added, I'm adding it in there. I'm also adding a bunch of topics and adding a bunch of chapters. 5 Flags International Lifestyle. I don't talk a lot about that in The Unchained Man. I'm going to add a lot of 5 Flags stuff in there. I've learned a lot of stuff in the last 10 years. I've accomplished a lot of new stuff in the last 10 years that isn't in that book. I got to add that back in there, right? Economic skills updated for the 2020s, Western collapse, what businesses models work better today than worked 10 years ago. I'm updating and adding all that. Non-monogamous relationship structures for married or cohabiting men. I wasn't married back when I wrote this book. I was dating lots of women, having a great time. Some of them serious, but I wasn't married. Now I know how to manage a non-monogamous marriage. I'm married for 5 or 6 years now. Together for 8, 9. Yeah. Scaling up an Alpha 2.0 business to the big money. We talked about that 2 days ago, didn't we? Add some of that in there. Anti-aging for men. When I wrote this book, I was 9 years younger. Anti-aging wasn't a big deal. Now it's kind of a big deal. So I do touch on that topic, but I'm gonna add a lot more for this new version. And a lot more, like a hell of a lot more. A lot more. I'm just scratching the surface. I don't want to tell you everything I'm putting in the book. October 25th, 2023 is when the book will be released. Hopefully sooner, probably sooner. I'm giving you extra padding time in case there's problems. You can pre-order it now if you want. And if you do, you get something I have never done before in my entire life. And I probably won't do again. I can't see myself doing anything like this again. So here's what you get. First, you're going to get an entire new video course from me called the Alpha Male 2.0 Conversion Course. Converting your beta male or alpha male 1.0 life to alpha 2.0. Okay? That is $1,000. I'll talk about why it's $1,000. Why it would be $1,000. 30 new training lessons by me. You get one per day for 30 days, and each lesson builds on the next. So it's literally a 30-day step process to alpha 2.0, to this type of free lifestyle. Okay? I cover mental, societal, business, dating, relationships, 5 flags. I cover everything. It's like a companion to the book, but there's more stuff in there than is the book. Okay? It's literally kind of a how-to guide to become an alpha 2.0 or build, what I rather say is build an alpha 2.0 life. Step by step. When I have a video course that has 30 lessons, I'm charging $1,000. You guys know this, $1,000, $1,500. So this is something I would normally charge $1,000 for, and it's way fucking less. You'll see in a second. And you will get this, not now, you'll get it on or before October 25th when it's ready. I don't want to rush this. This is my baby. This is the most important thing I've ever done. I can't rush this. So I ain't rushing this. I'm going to take the time to make sure this is perfect for you guys. Okay? So you get that. You also get discounts on all my other stuff. Alpha Male 2.0, Sovereignty stuff, everything. $1,000 in discounts at least. So there are permanent discounts on various products and services I have that will help you embedded in the video lessons. Discount codes you can't get anywhere else. Discounts on my business stuff, my personal development stuff, my dating stuff, everything. Not everything, but just about everything. I have a lot of stuff. These discounts pay the price, pay more than pay for what you're going to pay for to buy this. So this is free. Let me say this again. This is free. If you get this and you take advantage of 1 or 2 discounts, it'll pay for itself. It'll pay for itself anyway. It's just the business material. But all right. So you get the course, you get the discounts, get access to this Caleb Jones VIP Facebook group. So I have 3 Facebook groups. Our biggest one is 15,000 people, but I have a VIP one, which is invitation only. A few of you might already be in there, and you have to actually be invited in. And so these are the people who have actually bought some of my stuff. I know take them seriously. These are the real OGs, the actual people who actually work on this stuff. Okay? You be a member of this group and you buy this. And this is the only Facebook group I actively participate in. To be clear, I'm not in there every day answering questions. So if you think, oh, good, I can ask Caleb questions every day. I'm a little busy, no, but I am in there occasionally. I'm not in any other Facebook group. I have people under my name posting stuff in my other Facebook groups, but it's not me. Okay? So you get the course, you get the discounts, you get the book, you get the group, and of course you get the book. So up to $2,100. So you get the digital version. Let me say that again. You get the digital version. Let me say that a third time. There's been so much confusion about this, even though the website's been very clear. You get the digital version only. You do not get the soft cover or hard cover. I will address that in a minute. I'm not allowed to. That's an Amazon thing. Amazon's in control of that. So instead, you get is the PDF, you get the Kindle version, you get the EPUB version. Okay? You get it on or before October 25th of this year, hopefully sooner. My goal is much sooner than that. Much sooner than that. But that's the date I'm committing to. Okay? So the course, the discounts, the group, the book. You also get the audio book. I'm going to throw that in there. Now, here's the difference. Unabridged audiobook of the new book, the entire book. I don't leave anything out. I read the entire book. And this is big. This is important because people are doing this now, and I'm not going to do it. I love AI, what it's doing right now. I take advantage of AI right now. AI is awesome. I am not going to do this AI bullshit. This is in my voice. I'm going to read the book. I want this to be perfect. I don't want you to be listening to the book and I pronounce words funny. You've heard these AI voices. They're good, but they're not perfect. Everyone's going to go, Trump wouldn't say that, right? It wouldn't sound like that, right? So I don't want you thinking this. I want you thinking this is Caleb really doing this. And there's extra content in the audiobook that will not be in the written book. I'm gonna pause myself and say, okay, going off script here. Okay, back to the book. I think Gary Vee does that. When you read his books, he'll read his book and pause and say, okay, hang on a second, going off script. He'll give you a little more information and he'll go back. I'm going to do that. So there actually is added value in the audiobook. You get the audiobook. No DRM or copyright protection bullshit. They're standard MP3 files. They're yours. You do whatever you want. Cool? Okay, now, If all you did was one of these things, like you made your income location dependent, or you got your income up, or you started dating one or two attractive women, how much would that be worth to you? Think about that for a minute. All my content, I've said this 10,000 times, is stuff I wish I had. So you're going to get the course, the 30-day, 30-lesson course, all the discounts, the VIP group, the book, and the audiobook. Okay, $2,200 minimally. What's it worth to you? Honestly, we're talking about changing your life. Men have changed their lives with this little book. $2,200? No, it's $97. Now, to be clear, $97 until the 10th. After the 10th, no. I ain't selling a $1,000 course for $97 forever. I'll sell it now until the 10th. Is that Monday? July 10th. Either I will raise the price or I will take it off the market completely for a while. I haven't decided. And if I take it off the market and put it back on, it will not be $97. No. This isn't someone saying 4 easy payments and then no. This is $97, one payment, you're done. You are dumb if you don't get this. Caleb, why are you insulting your customers? It's true. This is stupid. This is a course I would charge $1,000 for. And you know, because I have courses like this, they're $1,000. $97? And the discounts are more than $97. And the book will change your life. Even if you never do the course. Even if you get this and you ignore the course and just do the book, change your life. Unchainedman.io. You can go there right now if you want. I'll do the Q&A now. And you can order it. And let me make a few clear on this. A few things. Caleb, do you have any discounts for people who already bought the Unchained Man? No, this is $1,000 already discounted to $97. Caleb, I'm in one of your programs. No, there are no discounts for this. I've already discounted it. $900. I'm not discounting this anymore. No. Now, here's my ulterior motive of doing this. Why are you selling this for $97? For this particular thing, for the Unchained Man, I want the message out there. This isn't one of my courses where I'm here to maximize my income in a given launch, which is what I typically do for my courses. I want to maximize income. Not this. Instead of, I want to sell this for $1,000, I'm only selling this for $97 because I want hundreds of guys to buy this between now and the 10th. I want lots of guys to have this in their hands so people will read it and go, holy shit, this is awesome, and you tell all your friends. That's why I'm doing this. Make sense? I don't really give a shit about how much money I make on this particular launch. I want the book out there. That's why I'm giving out the comic book too. I spent a lot of money, not a lot of money, but I spent thousands of dollars developing that comic book. I didn't write it. I mean, I wrote it, but I do the art and all that shit, and I'm giving it to you for free. Why am I doing that? I want this out there. I want this as many hands as I can. Well, why don't you give it away for free? Because you wouldn't value it. Then you wouldn't do the course if I gave it away for free. I know how this works. I'm a business consultant with 26 years of experience. I know this stuff works. If I give it for free, you won't do it. You won't read it. You won't go through the course. Charge $97. You'll be like, oh shit, you'll be looking forward to it. You'll get it. You'll read it. You'll listen to the audiobook. Hopefully you'll do the lessons and take action on these things. That's why. So I'm charging the least amount as I can until the 10th. After that, I'm done, guys. So if you want this, unchainedman.io. If you are, hang on a second. If you are in a place where the domain name doesn't work, let me look here. Because I'm in Paraguay and I realize unchainedman.io doesn't work down here. I'm going to put the raw link into the chat. And if you're watching the replay, I'll have links below. Okay? Yeah, there we go. Cool. Okay. That's it. Should we do Q&A? Should we do that? All right. I will hang out and do Q&A. How long have I been talking? Goddamn hell. I've been talking a long time. Let me check my schedule. Make sure I don't run into another appointment here. Hang on a moment. I have kind of a full schedule these days. 1 second. Go ahead and type your questions in the chat while I'm doing this. Ah, shit. I got to go soon. Okay. All right. Put your questions in the chat, and I will rewind the chat right now. Hang on. Where's my screen? Where is, what the hell? Okay. I'm rewinding the chat. I'm going to put on my glasses because I'm old. Hang on. That's the one thing about anti-aging. Although most guys start wearing glasses at age 41, I didn't need to start wearing them until age 47. And these are still 1.0s. Yeah, baby. All right. Got to have the, I'll leave this up for a few minutes. Hang on. True or false? Once a beta, always a beta. False. There are many people in this community who used to be betas. I used to be a beta. If there were more people in the US, did Alpha 2.0 would this avoid collapse? No. It's a little deeper than that. About downgrading a relationship with a woman, do you warn them about downgrading them? You don't warn them, you just do it. No. Like if there's drama, demands, or complaints, or do you just soft next, not too much discussion? It depends on what you want. If they're a problem, you get rid of them. If they're not a problem, but you've decided you want them that serious, and you downgrade. It's up to you. Are there times you have to ask for permission? Do you ever ask for forgiveness? No and no. That's not my lifestyle. If I have asked for permission, I don't want you in my life. No. If I need to forgive, ask for forgiveness. No, I will apologize, but I don't care if you forgive me or not. That's outcome dependent. Let's see. I just finished your Unchained Man. I wanted to extend my huge thank you, opening my eyes to societal programming. Cool, which has definitely made me an inmate to the prison. That's what we talk about in the book. Recently started writing down my own mission. Good. I've been separated for 3 years from my wife. Then she's not your wife. You need to move on. After reading my book, I realized I was a 1.0 category. I did cheat on my wife, and she never found out because I hide well. However, when I found out she cheated on me, I pulled the plug. Monogamy doesn't work. Long-term monogamy does not work. Long-term monogamy does not work. What's your Coke? I've never done drugs in my entire life. If you're referring to drugs, if you're referring to something else, clarify because I'm not cool. I don't know the young terms. What are your opinions of Tim Ferriss and your Huberman? And I don't know the last two. Tim Ferriss is pretty good. He's not an Alpha 2.0 though, but he's a pretty good guy. Do I soft next her when she asks for a break? No. Let her go. Say, okay, have fun. Would any of your dating advice apply whatsoever to homosexual relationships? They apply to lesbians going after women. If you're a guy going after guys, I mean, gay guys don't need game. Here's gay guy game. Hey, Joe, you want to come over and fuck me? Sure, I'll be there in 20 minutes. I mean, right? Now, a relationship management, probably not. Some maybe, some not so much. It's just easier for gay when you're a gay guy. If you're a lesbian, if you're a woman, yeah. I have lesbians who follow this stuff. Oh, yeah, I do. It's hilarious. How do you get past mental blocks at $10,000 a month? First, keep applying to jobs. I'm unemployed right now while trying to build my business, even though I have 3 to 4 months of savings. Any tips? I would pick one or the other. If you're trying to get a job, don't start a business right now. Focus on getting a job, get your job, get settled, then start your business. Don't do it at the same time. Isn't having more women in your life just inviting more problems? If they're not girlfriends. Problems mean they're too serious. You have serious women in your life. I said one MLTR, which is a woman you're dating, not your girlfriend, and an FB, a friends with benefits. Those are not problems at all. I have many FBs. None of them are problems because we're not dating, we're not serious. Oh, same guy. Fast forward to now, I have a Brazilian girlfriend 3 years now. Good. I've not gone out to seek other women because we never had that talk about my nature 1.0. Okay, yeah, that's a mistake. I'm still the mode of 1.0. Yep. Victim of sexual assault. Okay, well, that's great. I'm glad you've changed this. What would it take for you to watch a full-length movie with Pink Firefly in one sitting? I've done that before. We watched Godzilla. Pink Firefly is awesome. Moving to Russia, I know Russian women can be toxic. Yes. However, do you think I manage a harem of women there while minimizing the crazy traits of Russian women? You will not minimize the crazy traits of Russian women. If you date Russian women, be prepared for lots and lots of conflict and drama as part of the relationship. I don't do that. Some guys don't care. Then great, have fun. Do you write your own emails or outsource them? It's about 50-50. Some of my emails are written for me and some of the emails I write myself. Do you think it's feasible to convert a service-based business to Alpha 2.0 like landscaping? Absolutely. Sell to other landscaping companies. That's what you need to do. What about friends? I've always thought having good friends is great for happiness. I don't need friends because I'm an introvert. So some men need friends and some men don't. If you need friends, you need to have friends. If you're an extrovert, you need friends, go have friends. Very important. Absolutely. I'm an introvert. I don't need friends. Some of you need friends. Some of you don't. That's not why I say all men need friends. They don't. Some men need friends, but all men need to get laid and money. Do you think being monogamous is a deal breaker for turning into an alpha 2.0? You cannot be monogamous and alpha male 2.0. That's not possible. So if you're monogamous, you're not alpha 2.0. Correct. I only care about maintaining deep relationships. I have a wife. You think our relationship's deep? It's the deepest I've ever had in my life. But I have sex with other women because I don't date other women. I just hook up with them. FBs is too much trouble for the game, personally speaking. FBs are the least amount of work of any type of relationship you will ever have in your life. You just don't want them because you just said you want deep relationships. FBs are awesome. They're never any trouble. MLTRs can be trouble. OLTRs, which is girlfriend and wife, can be trouble. FBs are never trouble because they don't care. They don't love you. Great. Digital marketing agency fit the alpha 2.0 business. Yes, as long as it's niched. Yo, Caleb, what do you think about Cody Sanchez? I think Cody Sanchez is awesome. I love her. I think she's fantastic. I'd like to meet her someday. Model of buying several small businesses, creating a holding company, and delegating their management. Is it alpha 2.0 compatible? That would be tricky to do. That would be very tricky. Probably not, because you have to physically go out to those businesses. So you could probably do it. That'd be very tricky. How do you implement accountability into your group coaching? Depends on the program. You have a session usually with Jeff once a month, and you set 30-day benchmarks, and you commit to those benchmarks, and he follows up with you on Basecamp, and he holds you accountable to those once a month, depending on the program we have. Therefore, what are your recommendations for someone that has degenerative neurological disorder like multiple sclerosis for dating? Hang on. If you have a chronic health condition, my wife has one, you make it work. You make it work. Whatever you can do to integrate that, however, whatever adjustments you need to make, you make those adjustments and you do them. That's it. It's that simple. And, you got to be a little creative sometimes. That's fine. There are both men and women I've known in this lifestyle who have chronic health conditions and they make it work. It's a pain in the ass. It's not very convenient. You make it work. Do your FBs have a high churn rate? I'd expect they leave once they start dating a guy and that's serious to be monogamous. I have a 94% return rate for women. So 94% of every woman I've had sex with more than twice, that's a lot of women, come back to me eventually. So yes, they eventually leave, but 94%, if you follow what I call the cardinal rules in these relationships, will come back. Monogamy doesn't work. So they go get monogamous. Guess what? They break up and come back to you. I take a 5 if she remain loyal. You will not be long-term happy with that attitude. You won't. Because she won't remain loyal and you won't be happy fucking a 5 the rest of your life. Sorry. In your experience, do FBs... All right, answer that. Will we get the updated version of the Unchained Man if we have already purchased it before the Younger Man product? Huh? Updated version of the Unchained Man if we have already purchased it before the Younger... I have no idea what your question means. It has nothing to do with the Younger Man Lifestyle Toolkit. These are two completely separate products, nothing to do with each other. You may not agree with religion, but there is no need to be disrespectful. My religion is not goddamned. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said goddamn religion. You're probably right. Let's see. Read it 4 times. Cool. I'm from a Latin American country. My mother can get Spanish citizenship from Ancestry, and then I can get it too. Is that good for 5 flags? What do you think about this citizenship? I do not like European citizenships, but it might make sense depending on what you're doing. You have to do a lot of research on Spanish citizenship. I don't know. I generally don't like European citizenships, but it might work. Is Paraguay permanent residency still open? Our Get Resi service is now closed because we're doing it right now. Can you fly down tomorrow and submit your no? So we're probably going to do it again. I believe we're doing it again in March. Tomorrow we're doing the Dubai UAE Get Resi service where you can save a shitload of money in taxes because it's 0 tax. There's some taxes in Paraguay, not much. It's new. If we're in a course as a book included in the course, will there be an updated version of the book added to the course in the future? There should be, but no promises. I'm not going to promise that because that would be very complicated. So no promises on that. Course good for SMIC members. SMIC doesn't exist. It's now called UMS. The answer is yes. I've never understood this marketing tactic. You give me thousands of dollars worth of merchandise and only charge me $97, then its value is $97. You didn't understand. I explained that earlier. You have to be pretty stupid to fall for this. Then don't buy this. I'm not asking you to buy anything. Yeah, you are done if you don't get this. Already got it. Cool. Comics are beta. Then don't download the free comics. You're very negative. I think you're in the wrong place. If you're that negative about everything, I teach positivity and happiness. I think you're in the wrong place. I've already been through the original Unchained Men book and a ton of your other content. Almost all the YT Pocket and will this course really have new material for me? Well, geez. I mean, if you know everything I have ever done, then there will be some repeat in this course. Yes. There will be some new stuff, but a lot of it will be, if you know everything, if you've read, I've said this before, you've read every one of my books, you've listened to every podcast I've ever done, hundreds, you've watched every video I've ever done, hundreds, there's a tiny percentage in that category, then yeah, this might be some repeat for you. Yeah, there will be some new stuff, but to be honest, yeah, but most of you aren't in that category. What if we bought the earlier version? There is no discount if you bought the earlier version. I'm sorry, I've already discounted this the fuck. If you don't want to do this, if you just want to get the book itself all by itself for whatever I sell it for in October, that's fine. Then just don't get this. I know most of the new edition is added material, but there's an example of any content from the original book that you've revised or changed your mind about. Probably a few things, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head right now because I'm going through the process right now. Anything radical? No, I have not radically changed my mind on anything. I'm double downing on these things. I was right when I wrote about this book. When I said America is collapsing, I was right. What are the advantages and disadvantages of being 20 years old when it comes to location-independent business and starting dating multiple women? The big advantage is that you have no life overhead. Like I said earlier, you have no girlfriend. You probably have no debt. I hope you didn't go to college. You have no debt. You have no girlfriend. You have no wife. You have no kids. You have no life infrastructure. So you can just go. You can move to fucking Paraguay right now, couldn't you? When you're 20. Can you do that when you're 45? Not really. So that's the advantage. Disadvantage is you're not going to be as confident. You'll say, I could never be a coach. No one would give me any money. I'm only 20 or whatever. That's the difference. I'm a 28-year-old software engineer. What's a good Alpha Male 2.0 niche business I could start? Whenever I get these questions, there's a way too general. There's 10,000 different things you could do. That's way too general a question. What in your experience is like going from a country that is more collectivist versus a country that's more individualistic? There are no individualistic countries in the world. Every country in the world sucks. Just some suck less than others. I'm in the UAE. Way, way less bad than the United States by just about every measurement. Zero taxes, no crime, better schools. No one's pissed off about politics. I mean, it's awesome. Is it perfect? No. Is it individualistic? No. No country is. But it's way less bad than the United States. Watched your ASD video yesterday. Do you think ASD for women is mostly societal programming, or could some of it be biological wiring? A lot of it is biological. I talk about that in the book. And it is societal programming. It's a mix of both. Yeah. There's a point in your development from beta male where you are temporarily alpha male 1.0 before you finally get to 2.0. Many men who follow you are there. Yeah, I think that's accurate. I've seen men go through that process, sure. What's really funny is some men go from beta to get to alpha 2.0. They go to beta male to alpha 2, They go from beta male to alpha male 1.0 and they get stuck there. I've seen a few people in my audience do this. Some of you are guilty of this. You're a beta, you want to get to 2.0, you alpha up to 1.0, and then you stay there. And then sometimes people say, I just want to be an alpha male 1.0 the rest of my life. Well, you won't be happy. They go, yeah, I know. Okay. Best ways to do deep market research on biggest pain point of a niche I'm trying to break into. I always get this question. LinkedIn is your friend. In your experience, the FBs and MLTRs have a high churn rate. I already answered that. Would selling on Amazon FBA be okay for a 2.0 business if you're able to find a high margin product? Yes. You can sell products under the Alpha 2.0 business model. I generally don't like that. I generally push guys in the direction of services or information because it's higher margin and it's easier. So if you and I were coaching, I would try to get you to avoid that. But you can. And there are plenty of guys in Alpha 2.0 who sell products. If that's what you want to do, great. There are advantages to selling products. You have a lot of overlapping beliefs with Dave Ramsey when it comes to money. I have some overlapping beliefs, yes. Would you be offended if anyone said that you were stewarding your finances to the glory of God? I'm Malcolm Independent, so I think that's perfectly fine. I don't care. That would be perfectly fine with me. My mother was a Catholic nun. My wife is a practicing Christian. I think it's fine. I live in a Muslim country. They're all fine. They're all bullshit, but they're fine. They don't offend me I'm not one of these. I'm not an atheist. I'm not these angry atheists who hate religion. I don't care. It's fine. No problem. Can being in a relationship too young hold your mindset back? Yes, you should not have a girlfriend. That means an OLTR in Alpha 2.0 parlance before you are 30. It will absolutely hold you back. If you're all of you guys who are 29 or under, you should have FBs and an MLTR too if you want really bad. No girlfriends, no moving in with a woman, none of that stuff before you're 30. No living with a woman till you're 35. You move with a woman before you're 35, you're just asking. You're saying, universe, God, give me shitloads of problems down the road, please. And God/universe will say, okay, here you go. And you'll say, God damn it. And then I'll get your email in a few years. Oh, I ruined my life. Yeah. And how do you make it this? You're already in one. You end it. You nicely end. If you're in a girlfriend or married, you nicely end it. I had to do it. I was married. I divorced the woman who is the mother of my children. I did it. And it'll suck for a few months and you'll be as happy as you've ever been in your life. Why don't you like European citizenship? Taxes, woke governments, collapsing societies. Those three reasons. Most, not all Latinas don't speak English. To use a translator, just not talk. It depends on the country. You go to Panama, they all speak English. You go to Argentina, they pretty much all speak English. Paraguay, no one speaks English. Yes, Google Translate is your friend. That's exactly what I do. How can I download the free comics? You just said comics were beta. You're all over the place, dude. I think you're off your meds. How much did you change about the chapter on mission? I haven't gotten that chapter yet. So I don't know. I'm going to do this right now. Probably not going to change very much on that chapter. That's a pretty foundational chapter. By the way, your comment is way too long, but I love you change your mind. I love the enthusiasm. That's awesome, dude. Love it. As an alpha male 2.0, how do you apply dominance over a woman mostly? You don't outside of sex. During sex, you can do whatever you want. Be as dominant as you want. During sex, I'm the biggest alpha male 1.0 in the universe. During sex. As soon as sex is over, I'm right back to 2.0. I don't care what you do. I'm not going to tell you what to do. So you do not assert dominance over a woman. That is outside of sex, that is a 1.0 trait. You need to go follow Andrew Tate and Roosh V and those guys to assert dominance. Go follow their material. You won't be happy, but you can assert dominance. I don't care what my women do. My wife can do literally whatever she wants. Here's what she can't do. My wife cannot threaten me my health, and she cannot steal my money, right? And she can't give me drama. Those three things she can't. But if she does those things, I'm not going to say, hey, you're not allowed to do that. I just say bye, and I leave, and I go with someone else. I don't do arguments. Stupid. I'm too busy. I have a non-monogamous relationship, but she asked for a break. I am not needy, but I did say I didn't want a break, but I said you can do what you want. Did she break up with me? Yes, she broke up with you. And move on. Go get 2 more women right now. LinkedIn for market research, okay, but what's the best way to go about it? What would be your outreach message? You DM them, you say, hey, you're honest. I'm starting a business or I'm a student, whichever one, and I wanted to research on the biggest problems with people like you experience. If you have a few minutes, I'd love to ask you some questions. And if you help me out, I'll pay you $50 for your time, or I'll give you a $50 gift card. That's the best way to do it. And a lot of them will say, oh, you don't need to pay me. What are your questions? How many pieces of your content on average do people consume before buying your products? If they're new, it takes about 21 days. If they're warm, 1 or 0. If you already know me, you might just go buy this book right now because you already know. You know how good it is. If you're brand new, you've never heard of me before, you just known me for about a week, you're going to be kind of really suspicious. Like the other guy, be like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this guy. So it depends on how new you are to the material. I've been selling stuff online since 2009. So 14 years I've been selling stuff, and we always honor our refund policies and things like that. So I got a pretty good track record. Let's see. What would you consider doing? Would you consider doing options trading as an Alpha 2 Pro considering its location dependent? Yes. Go hook up with, invest with Henry and get his course. Absolutely. It's location dependent. You bet. I feel extremely discouraged in the face of setbacks and difficulties. How do you build internal strength and ability to take pain and motivation to move forward from starting from zero? Baby steps. Baby steps. One little step at a time. Little wins. That's the answer. You're trying to do too much at once. You try to take over the world. You didn't take over the world by yet, but tomorrow, oh man, I'm a loser. Baby steps, little steps. What are a few little steps you can take tomorrow? And if you do them, you win. What's a few little steps you can take the next day? If you do them, you win. Baby steps. Be easy on yourself initially. Long term, be hard on yourself. Big boss, you have one-itis and you need to move on and stop asking questions about your ex. You have one-itis, you're being a beta, and you're being a pussy. I say that out of love. Stop asking questions about your ex, cut it off, move forward, go find 2 women who are younger and hotter than her. Once you're having sex with 2 women who are younger and are hotter than her, you won't care about her anymore. Trust me, go try it. All the time you're spending about, why'd she break up with me? You're not going out there and getting new girls. When you have multiple women like me, if one leaves, you go, oh, well, I've talked about this. I've had many examples over the past 15 years where I was dating multiple women. One stopped seeing me and I didn't even notice for like a month. I'm like, hey, I haven't seen such and such in like 4 weeks. Where she went? That's how you want to do it. So it's like, oh, she done me. Why did she do it? I want to know why she did it. Move forward. Sorry. I don't know why you're saying sorry. I've lost track of who's who. Want to start legal service business to do things in which attorneys hate to do. Any suggestions? I have 20 years in legal service. Great. Pick the one thing, you know the niche. So this is great. So pick the one thing that attorneys have the most problems, the most frustrations in terms of what you do, and sell that one thing to a particular type of attorney, not attorneys. Attorneys is not a niche. What type of attorney get narrow as possible? Okay? So you're really close to getting there. You're in a really good place to launch that business fast. You'll be making a lot of money in just a few months. That's great. All right, I got to go in a few minutes. I'll do 2 or 3 more questions. Unchainedman.io until the 10th, which is what, Monday? And tell all your friends. Tell your buddies, hey, man, you want to change your life? $97, and this will be a lot more money later, or he won't offer it, which is true. I won't. Several of you saying thank you. You're very welcome. Let's see. Will more experienced number of women in self-awareness prevent possessiveness from going outside the bedroom? Self-awareness will. More women won't. Alpha male 1.0s bang lots of chicks, and they're still just as possessive. Andrew Tate. That's one of those possessive guys on earth, and he's banged quite a few women, right? So more women doesn't do it. If you have an alpha male 1.0 mindset, in other words, and sometimes it actually exacerbates it. So no. But self-awareness will. Oh, yeah. Self-awareness is the key. And you ask yourself, why do I care? Why do I care if she does this, or what if she fucks on a guy, or she doesn't respect my authority? Why does that make me mad? And you go into your brain a little bit. Why does that bother me? Because of this. And then you say, well, why that? Because of this. Well, why that? Well, I don't know. That's usually how this works. Because my dad told me, or because I saw a movie when I was a kid, or because I watched this video on YouTube that said, that kind of stuff. If I recall, your video about family has to do with the ship going down, but what if the concern is that mom, et cetera, will need to be cared for? Right. Do we tell her she is SOL and leave anyway? That's not what I said. What did I say in that video? You saw the video. What did I say in that video? I said, I would say, Mom, come with me. Now. Okay, well, if you're choosing not to come with me, then that's your decision. If you have plenty of money, if you don't say this. If you have plenty of money, you say, I'll send you some money when I move to Dubai or Paraguay or Malaysia. I'll send you some money. But if you're choosing as an adult to not come with me, that's on you, Mom, not me. I offered you to come with me. I don't want to. Well, that's your fucking problem, bitch. Don't say bitch, but you think it. What are the lifestyle changes, habits, practices, anything that had the most impact on your emotional strength and motivation in life overall? Boy, that's a difficult question. So non-monogamy is one. Learning to not be jealous. That was a big one. I've talked about this in my podcast. Not to be jealous. Oh, why is she doing it? She's talking to another guy. Oh. And not being mad about that. That's one. The negative experiences I went through in my 20s of being nut free, having a job. I thought, oh my God, fuck this. Being monogamous for 9 years of my first marriage. I'm like, fuck this. She says no, which she has every right to do. She's a woman. She has the right to say no. But then what am I going to do? I can't fuck other girls? Now, look, marriage or having a girlfriend would make sense if it was non-monogamous, where if a woman said, okay, you can't fuck other women unless I say no. Now, that doesn't work either. But at least it would be logical and make sense. If I say no, then you can fuck other girls. But this thing where a woman says to you, you can't ever have sex, even if I say no, fuck you. Why is that a good idea? You insane? You said before that you think the most likely outcome of America's collapse would be some kind of currency crisis. Most likely, I could be wrong. There are 6 different scenarios. I outline them in my YouTube videos and my blogs. You can take a look. But out of those 6 possible scenarios, that is the most likely as a currency, some sort of currency crisis or currency collapse. Yes, correct. Likely inflationary, but it could be deflationary too. Probably not deflationary, but it could be because of all the debt. So yeah. Will this have a similar impact on the economy as the Great Depression did? Yes. Oh yes, it's going to be very, very bad. Get out of the collapsing trifecta. United States, Canada, Europe. If you live in the United States, Canada, Europe, get out. Get out now while the getting's good. The getting isn't even good, especially in Europe. And in Canada, and in parts of in California. I don't know why you guys are still there. Yeah. So it's saying, thank you, you're very welcome. I find myself thinking about how people in the church hurt me deeply. Well, that sucks. How do you suggest I stop caring, don't let it affect me, and move on? I want to be outcome independent about the past. Well, number one, you don't hang out with those people anymore. That's number one. You cut them out of your life. But Caleb, I have to go to church, and they're there at church. Then don't go to church. But Caleb, I have to. No, you don't. You don't have to do anything. You can still practice religion while going to that church. Okay? Don't use any excuses. That's step one. If they fuck with you, they're out. They're out. If a woman gives me drama, she's out. If my own mother or father gives me drama, they're out. And I've told them. I talked about this in my podcast. Mom, you said that one more time to me. You're not going to see me at Christmas for a few years. So I would watch what you say if you want me to spend time with you. Otherwise, say whatever you want. You won't see me for a while. And you have to mean it. So it doesn't matter who it is. So that's number one. And then number two is the past is not equal to the future. And these people aren't very happy. People who give you drama and shit are unhappy people. So who cares, they think? Are these happy people? There are people who bash me on the internet. Not very many, but there are. They're all of them, very unhappy people. So do I care? If I had super happy, ultra wealthy men who have these great sex lives bash me, then I'd be really nervous. But these angry guys who live miserable lives, or at least lives nowhere near as good, why do I care? Why do you care? I imagine if they're at your church, they're not living wonderful lives. They're probably beta males and women in monogamous marriages, right? Who are frustrated and angry because the guy's been married to the same woman for 7 years, has had sex in 6 months, right? Right? Let's be honest. There you go. Moving to Russia. Do you think I answered that question? Hi, Caleb. Me and 30 others have been laid off a few weeks ago. Yes, America's collapsing. Correct. You get more and more of this. Mm-hmm. Should I get another dead-end bullshit job or start an alpha male 2.0 business? I have some savings. Like I told the other guy, if you have plenty of savings, like a year or 6 months, go and start your business. If not, don't worry about starting a business. Get a bullshit job just to pay your bills. And this is how I started my companies way back in the 90s when I was a kid. When you're done with your job, my last job was working at Nike corporate headquarters. When I was done with my bullshit job at 500.00, I was out the goddamn door working on my business. And you do just enough work in your job to not get yelled at. I did this for 2 years in 2 different companies when I had a job back when I was 23. Just enough work to not get yelled at. And at 500.0, you are out the fucking door and you're on your business. That's what you do. If you don't have enough savings. If you have plenty of savings, go ahead. Sure. If you have over 200K in student loans, oh my God, America. How would you go about it? Pay minimum 50% a year, or instead of 85 goal, do you have a 100K goal, or pay it off ASAP? If you have debt, you need to pay it off ASAP. You also need to start your own business too, but you need to pay it off as fast as you can. Yes. You make a plan, it's called the debt snowball, and you pay it off as fast as you can. You are not free if you own $200,000 to the United States government, because that's de facto who you own it to, in debt that you can't file bankruptcy on. And stop listening to your parents. You went to college because your mommy or daddy waved their finger in your hand and said, you need to go to college. You said, okay, mommy, stop listening to your goddamn parents. That's the next one. You can love your parents, respect your parents. I love my parents, respect my parents, but I'm not listening to them. That's their problem. Former New York Mayor Bill de Blasio and Shirlane McRae, I don't know who McRae is, said they do not plan a divorce and will continue to live together in their Brooklyn townhouse. They will, however, begin to date other people. Yeah, we could analyze that, but don't worry about it. Okay, I already answered that. I left that church years ago. Great. It's gone to the point where it's been 10 years and the rumination still bothers me sometimes. What? I've been working on figuring this, making some progress. If you're still pissed off about something that happened 10 years ago, you need to go see a therapist. Something's wrong up here. That's not normal. Something's wrong up here with you. Not wrong with you. Something's wrong up here. You need to see a counselor. 10 years ago and you're still thinking about it, something's wrong. Go see a therapist, because I'm not a therapist. I can't help you with that. But do that. Out of the 2 tires of the motorcycle, what tire would you prioritize first? I just started my LI business and don't get the best results with women. Thoughts? That is purely up to you. So what you look at is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much unhappiness does having lack in this part of my life cause me? Not getting laid, having no money. So you might say, well, having no money on a scale of 1 to 10, that pain is a 6. And not getting laid, that pain is about a 4. Well, then guess what? You do the business first. And as soon as you're at a baseline, you start getting laid. So every guy's different. Now you may say not getting laid is a 9 and not having money is a 5. Well, then work on women first. Every guy's different about this. Depends where you are in life, your age, your personality. There's no blanket answer to that. So it's up to you. But it's a good question. Can I outsource market research interviews on my niche over the phone to someone at Upwork for a reasonable cost? Absolutely, yes. You can certainly do that. That's a good idea. Would you recommend going to the highest paying, most profitable niche, even though I'm not interested in it? Yes. I have a company that deals with cardiologists. You think I give a fuck about cardiologists? No, but they're the second highest paid doctor. That's why I talk to them. So the answer is a big fat yes. How do you distinguish when a niche isn't profitable versus not making money because your offers suck? You'll know if a niche is profitable. Are plastic surgeons profitable? Oh, yeah. So you already know that. And if you don't know if the niche is profitable, you shouldn't have picked that niche. You should know very clearly if they're profitable or not. Would I work with newspaper companies? No, that's not profitable. Okay, no, I wouldn't. Would I work with artists? No, that's not profitable. Would I work with, attorneys in the oil industry? Yeah, they're making money. You should know that already. How do you convert your full-time job into a client for A2 business? We have a guy in the 90 Business Broker program who did exactly that. That's exactly what we did. We actually helped him do it. You go to your boss and you say, hey, if you start paying me as a 1099 contractor, you don't have to pay me payroll taxes anymore. I won't be a salaried W-2 employee. I have to dick around that stuff anymore. You'll save money on taxes, and I'll just send you a bill, and I'll take care of my own taxes. It'll be a lot easier. And he might say, great, or I'll say, fuck you, get back to work. And you have a decision to make. Okay, I got to go in 2 minutes. I have a phone call at 30 after the hour, so I got to go in 2 minutes. I see too many girls. Well, that's a quality problem. I've had that problem. I relate. I've been in that scenario several times. How do I reduce this so I concentrate more on my business? You pick your top 3 or 4 and you keep them and you nicely soft next all the rest. Nicely. So you keep the ones you want, keep your favorites, and you just stop seeing the other 5, 6, 7. That's it. That's really it. Well, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Well, okay. You want to hurt their feelings, or do you want money? Which one do you want? I know I would pick. That's why I said be nice, because you want them to come back, don't you? You want that 94% return rate. So it'd be very sweet, be very nice, very respectful. But Caleb, I'm broke. I used to be broke, so I understand. I used to be very broke. I would wait 4 months to pay my electric bill. I remember those days. I work a BS job with no real opportunity to make more money. Correct. No job. Very few jobs you have the opportunity to make more money. Yes. Most jobs are BS jobs. Correct. Currently making about 80K. No idea what location dependent to start or how. Which course you are for me? The 90-day, you want to join our 90-day business builder program. If you have more money, if you make 80K, you probably don't. You can join the 500K business accelerator. That's a little more expensive. You can definitely join 90-day business builder, 90daybizbuilder.com. It's open for enrollment right now. Right now. And we've dropped the price and we've raised the amount of coaching you get. More on that in about 2 weeks. But you can go there right now. That's the one you want. If you have no idea where to get started, we have guys in that program who had no idea where to get started. We're making thousands of dollars in less than 12 weeks. Is it okay if prospects of my niche realize that I outsource my market research interviews? No loss of no, they don't care. You're over. By the way, Mike Holm, you are way overthinking this. Just execute. Stop thinking. You are what's called a LISIG, low income smart guy. I don't know how much money you make. I imagine not a lot, because you're way overthinking this stuff. Just execute. You're fine. My body count is only 4 and I'm making 2K a month in my business. Is it location dependent? That's good. 2K a month location dependent is pretty good. I'm leaning toward business because I get my, okay. Well, again, that's not what I asked. Which one causes you more pain? You have to tell me and then make a decision. Kaylee, put your nose to the grindstone, and I think you could get the book out by September. No, I have a lot going on in my life right now. A lot going on. It won't be out by 1st of September. Late September, yeah, it could. 1st of September, no. It's not going to happen. But like, mid-late September, yeah. Because here's the deal. I have to write the book, proofread the book, typeset the book, record the audio book, record the video courses. That's a lot of work. I'll get it done. I'm 16. Should I focus on girls or money? What did I say earlier? Which one's more of a priority to you right now in terms of unhappiness? You could certainly focus on girls. You probably live at home with parents, right? How to keep weekly hangouts with each FB under 1 to 2 hours. That's what I do. I have lots of FBs here in Paraguay. They're not here more than 1 or 2 hours. How do you nicely kick her out of your place after sex? Here's how you do it. As soon as she comes over and you settle and you start talking to her, you say, hey, by the way, I have a meeting or I have to get to work by, and you give her the time, 1.5 hours from now. And you say, is that okay? And she goes, oh, that's okay. Now she knows. So now you're not kicking her out. She knows she has to leave by 6:30. So you do it. If I have a full-time job, build an online business instead of quitting my job once the business takes off, could I switch to part-time or casual hours? Let me reread that. If I have a full-time job and build an online business, instead of quitting my job when the business takes off, could I switch to part-time or casual hours? Well, that's up to your boss. Oh, I wouldn't do that. So here's what I would do. Here's the model I teach. You have your job, you start your business on the side. As soon as your business gets to 40% of your job income 3 months in a row, so for 3 months in a row, it makes 40% of your job. You quit your fucking job. Now you have a new 50 hours a week, 40 hours a week to put into your business, and you'll get that 40% to 100% really fast. So no, I would never just go part-time with it. I would eliminate the job. You only make 40%, not 100% for that reason. And you're paying a lot less in taxes on your job, in your business income than your job. So you don't even make as much money, right? Okay, I have to go. Unchainedman.io, $97 until Monday. After Monday, I either jack the price up or I pull it off the market. I have not decided which. I don't know yet. And I honestly don't know. I really don't know. I got to figure that out. I'll figure out this weekend. But that's it, man. So this is it. And if you want the comics, you go to alphamale20.com and you click the thing at the top that says download Alpha Male 2.0 starter kit. That puts you on the list, the mailing list. Okay. If you already get the Sovereign CEO emails, but you do not get the Alpha Male 2.0 emails, you have to email us and we have to move you to the other list. Some of you are in that category. Okay. All right. Cool, guys. I have to go. Have fun.